Futures slightly lower this morning, coming off an impressive post-Fed rally yesterday that saw all three U.S. indexes rally right through to the end of the day and close basically at day highs. We're getting weekly jobless claims numbers a little bit lower than expected here this morning, 214,000 versus 220,000 expected on the initial jobless claims number there. So we'll have a look at the overall market here again. Trading slightly back in negative territory. Markets continue to monitor ongoing developments between Russia and Ukraine. The war continuing, obviously. Bloomberg reporting late yesterday that the Kremlin came out pouring cold water, essentially, on initial reports suggesting that progress was being made in peace talks. Turned out that might not, in fact, be the case. The Fed, meanwhile, signaling as many as 6 more rate hikes to come the remainder of this year. So we'll see how the market digests the first rate hike since 2018 yesterday. Chinese stocks back on watch this morning after that huge rally we saw right across the board in that group yesterday. We'll have a look at Tesla, a couple more headlines regarding Tesla. And the overall EV space was pretty quiet yesterday, but should be back in action today. It's Thursday, March 17th. It's St. Paddy's Day. Happy St. Paddy's Day. tradertv.live starts now. And there we go. Look at where we're at right now. You can see all three U.S. indexes back in the red, as we mentioned there. 0.5% for the NASDAQ, leading the way, 0.3 for the Dow and the S&P. Overall, I mean, it could be a lot worse coming off that huge move we saw yesterday. TSX futures here in Toronto, flat. Brazil's open, trading lower. Crude, yeah, big move early on here for crude. It was more than 6% at one point. Bitcoin and Ethereum relatively flat. So we get the, as I said, first rate hike in the U.S. since 2018 yesterday. The Bank of England, meanwhile, coming through this morning following suit. Their third interest rate increase in a row for the Bank of England, and the market overall seems to be digesting this pretty well. Good morning, guys. Hope everyone is doing well. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all.
Yeah, happy St. Paddy's Day. I swear, this is technically a green shirt. It's like the greenest thing I had that could actually put this mic on.
I don't know what that color is.
It's close enough. I don't know. I had nothing.
There's a word for it. You know, I just got to wear my Palantir.
At least that's green.
Yeah, I came downstairs. I had like a green golf shirt on, and then I was like, I didn't have anything to put underneath, and we don't really wear sleeves. I don't know if that's a policy. We used to have that here, sleeveless shirts. But yeah, I didn't have anything green. I didn't have like one long sleeve green shirt at all. But we do have the Palantir green hat right there. And then when you see Miss V, she's in green.
You know.
Randy, the automotive man's in green. But me, you, and Brendan are basic. Well, okay. I don't. I'll give you a pass.
Lucas forgot too, but
I didn't forget. I mean, it was just a matter of not having the right stuff. But I'm sure Trader Pratt will be decked.
He's going to. I guarantee you. My call is that Pratt is by far like he's just head to toe. Probably he's just high off of his Magic the Gathering win, so I'm sure he'll be excited about that. There's not.
Who won that?
Apparently, I don't know why I'm laughing at that. Apparently, Pratt won.
Oh.
So I mean, I'm surprised because I had my Magic the Gathering is a game I don't know much about.
How do you win Magic?
Except Greg and the boys play it a little bit. They're interested.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd too, just not my thing. But apparently Pratt took it out. I thought Tony, my money would have been on Tony, but no.
No, my money's never on Tony. Yeah, no, I was gonna wear Packers. I have Packers jerseys, but it was just too casual. I don't know, I don't know. We're trying to keep it somewhat professional here, but thank you to Hugh there. I see what your name is, and I'm not saying it, but it's a good one. Shout out to Hugh in the chat if you guys want to see it. Anyways, guys, yeah, look, yesterday's market move was amazing, Brendan, and let's see if it can continue today. But what I wrote on the top of the sticky note was just that I'm uncertain of the market direction. So, I mean, I don't know. I thought we'd be down a little bit more than we are. We're down 0.53, and then we rallied a little bit. Then we just got Philly Fed, brought the numbers down a little bit, jobless claims, so on and so forth. So, I don't know. We're going to have to wait to see what this market wants to do. Maybe light off the open, and then we'll see a direction.
No huge positions?
No huge positions. No huger positions.
No.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Can I see it? There it is.
Shut up.
Shout out to Muskoka Bay Golf Club for providing me with the only thing that I have also that has even a little bit of green on it today. So Yeah, happy St. Patty's Day. Yeah, we'll see. It's there. What?
I wouldn't have even shown that.
Okay, I'm going to put this dollar bill then here, just on the side of my pocket. There we go. I'm wearing green.
I tried.
There we go. I've got green now.
There you go.
Perfect.
But I like the Muskoka Bay. I like your idea there.
I mean, I looked hard for this. Trust me.
No, you didn't.
You're ready to go golfing, boy.
Come on, man.
As I was saying, yeah, let's bring in Miss V is representing everyone who is green this morning. So let's say good morning to Miss V.
That's right. Good morning, team. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you all. Have a green, profitable day. Please smash the like button and let's get it started, Brendan.
Yeah, let's get it started, guys. Lots to get through this morning as we head to the open here. We had a number of individual stocks reporting, not much, excitement around them this morning. I saw Canadian Solar out with numbers this morning. They really didn't do much as far as reaction, but I bring that up simply because the solar and clean energy group has been on watch over the past couple of weeks, making moves. Wanted to mention Nucor here. We've seen some impressive moves lately in some of the resource names. Nucor out this morning with upped guidance. So record first quarter earnings in the range of 720 to 730. Coming for Nucor, apparently. So, again, this group has been one of the only ones that have held up very well, through this entire downturn in the market. But Nucor, I mean, guys, not really doing much this morning, but they upped their guidance today.
Right. I mean, yeah, 6,000 shares done on Nucor today. Look, shout out to Austin and everybody that was buying this thing with me down here at $90, 95. That's where we're still long. We just took out our first piece the other day at 138, I believe it was, 138 and change, which was an amazing price. It dipped down to 124. And look, in the space, I think you got to stay long commodities, and we talked about this. I mean, Gus showed up yesterday.
I know. I saw him before last night.
Yeah. So we had a quick. You guys might remember Gus. I had a quick drink of it. He brought a Barolo. So I mean, I stayed for a couple sips. Yeah. So anyways, we were talking about it, and you know what? Like steel, resources, all these, the commodities. There's just so much more happening right now than tech names, and I think you got to stay long. These plays. I mean, U.S. Steel's there, Nucor's here. It's nice that they haven't upped their guidance. And it's just like we need to make more things. The infrastructure bill, everything going on with raw materials and whatnot right now, and they upped their guidance. I mean, I think that's a very, very strong move for them to do that. Obviously, they can't be too worried about the supply chain. They're looking forward at some of the contracts that they have. And I like Nucor here. I think it works. It's down 1.75% today. Why? Remember, though, 135 is where we were yesterday. Looks like you're down today to 132. We'll find out what's going on with, see, like yesterday right there, 135. We ripped up to 140. So it's not like 140 was a pipe dream. You could have got better than that yesterday, 141. It went down as everything else went up yesterday, right? And so I think to get a little bit of diversification in your portfolio, you may want to have these dip down a little bit to 125, 130. But hey, as a shareholder, I'm pretty happy with the fact that they reported, they didn't report, but gave the guidance there. And let me just check what their PE is quickly. It's 18, their forward PE, but their current PE is 5. So obviously with the guide, it bumps them up a little bit. I still like Nucor here, and I think it's an own, not get out of anymore. It's where they say own, don't trade or something. It's Jim Cramer's for Apple. It has a 1.5% dividend. So it's not bad. You get paid to hold it.
Yeah, I'm just a bit curious. Why would it be down 1.5%? I know there's no volume. I just double checked U.S. Steel to see if it was moving at all. It's also got no vol, but it's up 1.4. Look, they're both relatively cheap names. U.S. Steel's kind of really cheap on earnings basis, but I'm looking at this, and I did sell some shares of U.S. Steel around 34, and I wouldn't wonder if it's gearing up for another potential breakout here. So, I'm holding off doing anything till we retest that 34. This actually does set up. That level's pretty good. It's multi-day tops if we can see that price for potential breaks at 34.25. It was a good fade if you go back to last week. I always love when we have the time change, it's like the arrows in the chart are off by an hour sometimes. But yeah, 34 was a good short last week. And I guess we'll be watching that again today. Just a little bit surprised. Nucor might be a good opportunity to pick some shares up if it's going to diverge from U.S. Steel on a good guidance update. That doesn't really make a ton of sense to me why they diverge in this situation. So definitely one to watch.
All right, one group we didn't really touch on too much yesterday, but obviously with the interest rate hike and interest rates continuing to go up, the banks going to benefit. We saw huge moves as well. I mean, the overall market rallied, obviously, but huge moves yesterday in the financial sector. Banks back to the downside a little bit this morning. Yield curve flattening ever so slightly, but I mean, there was so much to look at yesterday, guys, but like even some of these banks put in huge rallies on the day.
Lift all them ships is the way to look at it. So, whoops, I forgot about the daily chart. Anyways, I was going to show Morgan Stanley. The stink to 80 happened at least. It's holding up at least pretty nicely on basically no volume. I'm not saying there's going to be momentum here, but I can't tell you how many charts had this clean sort of breakout style look, and it was a dip and rip sort of idea off the open, and the banks came with it. Worth noting, now some things pulled back pretty much all the way to morning levels, and then reestablished those. And just looking at Morgan Stanley in particular, because of where this pulled, it dipped right to 90. There you go. Now, 15-minute wants to load further now. It dipped right to this 90 level that was a previous resistance. So I'm kind of looking for it to establish this as a support. I don't see a lot of pre-market volume, so it's not really top of the list. But when I was going through the bank names, I just looked at that 90 and said, okay, well, that's where it dipped on the Fed sort of release and then rallied from there. You did have a previous resistance point at that 90 level. So, it's worth a look there. But 5,000 shares in volume on Morgan Stanley, pretty light. After the fireworks yesterday, pre-market volumes are a little bit more light. So you're not seeing as much clear direction. Although, there's a couple of stocks I know I'm going to be looking at, of course. I'm going to be all over. I have to watch CAR, because if there was one thing that was impressive for a rally, that might have got missed, it was Avis. There were stocks that gapped up, and I'm sort of jumping ship here. There were stocks that gapped up and then ran a little bit more. Most of Avis's move yesterday was not the gap. It just straight up ran like $40 in the afternoon. Like at 12 o'clock, it ran $40 in the afternoon. Just crazy move. It's just completely insane. This stock has essentially almost doubled in a week and a half. And I know we saw it go to $500 in the squeeze, and the short interest isn't what it used to be. But if this gets to 300, it's screaming for an opportunity to try to catch a bit of a fade. Not a lot of volume on this either, but there's a few opportunities that you're not seeing volume yet, but the moves yesterday tell me that you should see some action today.
CAR should be. I remember that day. That was crazy. It was like $100, $200, $400, $500, $580. Stop. Okay. So Microsoft, forget it. The banks, we're talking about SoFi down here. So we'll talk about SoFi, the most traditional bank of them all. So if market falls, we want to pick this up near 8. Remember, we wrote on here that we were uncertain of market direction today. So I want to look at SoFi. I mean, SoFi had that move down. We talked about taking a YOLO bottom here around $8. You made it as high as $8.90 or so. In the pre-market, I believe, or that was yesterday, sorry. $8.75 up here for SoFi yesterday. And, we were playing it a little bit. We tried to short some of these moves, was decent back in. We didn't make enough money as it cracked all the way back down to $8. And then you're seeing now that resistance down there at 8, or sorry, I guess support, not resistance, down here at 8. It stopped in the pre-market at 8. It stopped in that drop at 8. And that was a pretty nasty drop right after the Fed came, right after 2 p.m. So the market really tanked. And that was a name that I looked at. Unfortunately, I had a great day, but we dug into Facebook and SoFi, and we couldn't. Someone said yesterday, you can't kiss all the babies, but we got to kiss this one, man. If this comes back down to 8, 8.10, we have to get long again on SoFi. So this is a name that I want to look at. I think it's, you can play it for the volatility. It's only an $8 name. You could take more shares than, me reviewing a Goldman Sachs or something like that, which is $340, JP Morgan $140, Morgan Stanley $90. And look, SoFi's not going to trade like a traditional bank, so that was kind of tongue-in-cheek there, obviously. But if you can make a move back down in here to $8, especially if this market does continue to make a move down, like all I wrote down on here, which for the first time on my sticky note, I think they're all shorts. Microsoft's going to be a short, Affirm's going to be a short, Rivian's going to be a short, and then SoFi at the very bottom is the only name that I was looking long, but the long price target's down here near 8. So looks like our short call's been okay. We don't have anything on board now. It's only 8:44, but let's wait to see. SoFi is a bid down here. I'm going to put it in right now so I don't forget it. Around 8.15, I'm putting a bid right now. So $8.15, a little bit higher than that, maybe if you wanted to, 8.20 or so. I'm going to test SoFi down here near the bottom. If we get the fill, great. If we don't, we move on.
All right, speaking of the EV group, I wanted to mention this first. On Avis, guys, the board approving a $1 billion increase to their existing share repurchase program. So heads up on cars. So that was out this morning. And then Roth Capital out with a note on the entire EV sector here, just saying some of these might face continued pressure because of rising interest rates and costs. There's Rivian, there's Fisker, there's Lucid, all down 1 to 2% here in the pre-market.
Yeah, I mean, Lucid for me, I shorted it again yesterday. Obviously, everything made that bottom and had that whipsaw action, and pretty much it reversed off 22 where we got out, and just sometimes you don't get into that long trade and it sets up the break. I'm just going to go right back to the well over here. I look at the top that it made in front of this 24, and it was so good off 25.75, and then it was a good short off 24.50 after just all it has to do is like a couple of days worth of resistance on the stock, and that's usually enough. Today, I'm not even really asking for that, but here's I know this isn't a double top at 24, on a daily level. Like you had a couple of days worth of resistance for each of these last short levels here. But one was sort of before the Fed announcement, and the other one was after. So it's a bit of a different, I'm not saying it's 2 days, but you are having two very different liquidity type events going into that high. So I'm going to use that for Lucid here today. It's that 24 level. I'll be shorting into it this morning. Sometimes it doesn't actually make the break up, and you're playing the consolidation. 22 is going to stand out if it gets down there. Obviously, when you had buying like you did in yesterday's action off of a level like this, it gets down to that price, I'd be flat on any short trade and even be thinking about a long. But really, the first target is going to be around where the Fed bottom was, right? So that's about 22.75. So I'm looking for a Lucid short today. Just sort of picking on this EV name because it's made sense for the short side of the trade for me.
Yeah, mine's going to be Rivian. I mean, we've been shorting this name for a while, so I think what we're come on, charts. I think what we're doing is just sticking with, what we know best. And Neil's going to stick with SoFi. I put on the sticky note here. Oil was up 6%. So therefore, I was looking to short Rivian. Like, that doesn't make sense when you're thinking about the fact that oil's up, therefore Rivian should be up, right? But I talked about it here. I just feel like it might give us a pop for us to short Rivian. So that's sort of what I was looking at here, was that if Rivian gets going today because oil is up, and people might be like, oh, maybe there's a move to EV. I just don't believe that the move is going to be into Rivian. So I want to short this name every single time we get an opportunity to. And right here on the daily chart, that's 42 right there. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit more just so you guys can see this. Here it is. So that's the dump spot right here. We dumped off 42 and we went to 33, and now you're back up to 41. So let's see if it wants to break out through this level 42. I mean, you got to give it a little more love than 42, maybe up to like 43 and change, something like that. And we did that yesterday with Palantir and with Facebook, right, where we didn't get out at what was kind of an obvious level. We waited for that one little tranche down, and thank God J Powell came in and saved that. But 42 is right here into here. So I like 42, but there's that pop to 43. So we do know that can happen, and I think I remember trading on it on this day. It does have these nice wicks all over the place. So we'll see if Rivian gets to 42 there and then takes 43. We'll probably get out of it and then see what happens if it gets into 44, 45. So again, without understanding what this market's going to do today, and the market still has 50 minutes before we open, so I'm not sure where we're going to go. It's already been a little bit of a roller coaster here in the pre-market. Regardless, I do have my offer right now for Rivian at 41.80. So we're going to sit right here, right into these levels here, see if we get a pop and then a drop. So Rivian's going to be my short play for the EV space.
All right, happy to have Luis Barbado back with us, Day Trade the World owner and operator of the floor over in Barcelona, Spain. Great to see you as always. Luis, welcome back. An interesting day setting up here once again, coming off of the Fed yesterday, and extreme volatility that we've had over the past couple of weeks. First off, I mean the volume itself lower today right across the board, is specifically if you go anywhere outside of the oil and energy sector. How are you approaching things today, coming off of what happened yesterday?
Yeah, as you say, a little bit lower volume today, but also we have to take into account we were very focused yesterday on oil, energy, and China stocks. Most of the volume went there until the Fed announcements. So we're going to be selective today with the sectors we are trading. we're looking for China stocks, of course, related to BAVA, in the internet services, all the stocks related to BAVA, also to VEKE, VEKE, real estate stock in China, all the stock related. Yesterday was a very movement up, 50-60% up. VEKE today is going down a little bit, 6%, but it's in place. So we're going to check the real estate sector in China as well today.
Yeah, pretty impressive moves right across the board for that group. Even, if you go down the chain a little bit, the DDs of the world, the Li Autos of the world, with crazy amounts of volume traded yesterday. Were you focusing mostly on the bigger names, the Alibabas, the JDs, in that group versus, like DD did over 100 million shares yesterday, so it's hard to not look at something like that.
Yeah, we're looking all of them, checking for sympathies as well. Baidu, Baba was the main plays there. Didi as well, and VEKE in the real estate. There was a huge volume for such a low float in this ticker. We're looking for, of course, today small cap. Slowly, we're having this small cap world coming back alive again. 1 or 2 small caps every day. Yesterday we have VEKE. Today we have Mullen, MULN, in play over $2 after a nice consolidation around 170, 150. It's pushing through $2 today. So let's see if it's hold there over $2 and we see a fade again down to 150, 170. It's another stock very in play today, Mullen.
Yeah, lots of volume coming back into that over the past couple of days. Let's focus on some of the small caps in the energy sector as well, because we have that INDO, we have that IMPP, there's HUSA, there's tons of them, ENSV. When it comes to oil specifically and some of the moves we've seen in crude, lifting Oxy, CVX, XOM, do we focus on the big ones or are you still keeping some of these small cap names in play as well?
Both of them. Of course, we look for nice setups on the bigger ones, like a longer term setups, looking for a nice pullbacks or breaking highs. These kind of trades we look for more in the bigger stocks, but for scalping faster movements, we look for more the small caps, so they're able to give us an edge, really how to get in, the sizing and the timing. In the bigger companies, even in the same sector, the level 2 doesn't give you, we think, so much clue what's going on. It's more about technical analysis and more about looking for a longer movement in the setup.
Yeah,
the bigger names like CVX, like Chevron.
Yeah, a lot of those smaller names as well with very low float, which is part of the catalyst, I guess, in trading some of them. Wanted to get your thoughts, Luis, as well on HYMC and this news we got earlier in the week with AMC. I noticed HYMC again this morning, back up on a volume scanner. So very active here. It's not really doing a lot, but kind of holding the bottom end of the range of the past couple of days.
Yeah, we've been shorting every pop on this one, I have to admit. We didn't see it going through $3, so every approach to 250, 270, we were shorting big time, even below 2, pushing bids lower and lower. So we are waiting now for a rebound to a new test, but it seems weak. It's from 0.2, so it's going to go down. No one believes in this stock. If you see the daily chart, it's like a joke. It's going down from 16, 15, then 10, 8 support, everything is broken. So we are taking advantage of these pops to short the stock.
Yeah, crazy story in general, but lots of opportunities in HYMC. Luis Barbados, the Day Trade the World owner and operator over in Barcelona, Spain, joining us as always for a Thursday morning. We'll let you get back to it.
Thank you very much, Brendan. One ticker we forgot is JANG. Maybe you know what's going on there. It's a huge pop, and then it's down to $16 now, the ETF, the Chinese ETF. Check it out. Give me some ideas what's going on there. It's a crazy tanky movement in JANG.
What is the ticker?
YANG, the Chinese Direction ETF Trust Daily.
We will. Oh, Yanda. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. We'll have a look. Thanks so much, Luis. As always, best of luck today. Have a great day. A couple of interesting notes, guys, for small caps and some of these energy names as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, that that HYMC is a weird one because it's done 3 million in volume, or maybe even more than that, and yet it's not really going anywhere. I think it might have one little pop left in it before it goes, but yeah, you're right, gang. That's a 3x bear ETF. So volatility is going to be way bigger on these names, and we always get asked, it's like, oh, why don't you guys trade like the 2x or 3x ETFs? I mean, there's enough volatility in the market, and usually much better liquidity when you play some of these straight up, but. Yeah, if you saw the move that happened in some of those Chinese names yesterday, you wouldn't be surprised to see this, going to the downside. We were talking more about like KWeb, which again you just play straight up the internet ETF there, which made some sense to me to trade. But this, if you're trading this, you've got ice water in your veins to be sure. And understand the way this is going to move is going to be parabolic. It doesn't have a ton of liquidity nor volume, and that's going to be expressed in some of the moves here. But there are other alternatives. Like I said, you can be simply watching that KWeb, which was pretty strong yesterday. Tempt fate by trying to bring it up late here. There we go. Come on. Yeah, it doesn't want to. There you go. Oh, I'm now missing like half the day. Trust me, there was a nice consolidation for a brief second at 28. That's why I got this trade. But then it broke out late in the afternoon, and that's a more straight up ETF there. But just be careful with that yang. It doesn't do relatively good volume.
I can't short prices
in
that
the
don't
middle?
exist, man.
Yeah.
Come on, Neil.
The ghost in the chart, right? Like.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that one. That's a 3 times bear, so obviously that's why it goes. Lewis was just mentioning it. That's why it goes from 48 to 16 or something the last couple of days. The move up was Alibaba yesterday. We were long down here, 73, 74, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you still are. So I think that was a decent call. But there it goes, ripping right up to 1. There's a reason why it's not on the sticky note today, and it's just like I said. I'm confused by everything. Like that was such a huge move up. It's easy for me to say let's short Alibaba through 100. I mean, I think that's kind of like a no-brainer play to at least test the short back down through 100. And then if you do that, I think, looking at this, where did we stop a little bit? Yesterday was like 96, 97 on the way back up. But, it's so hard to make a call to stay long on a name that's up 40% in 2 days. So I don't know. I love Alibaba with its valuations. Obviously, I don't love the environment that they're in. But like if this was a U.S. tech stock, I would be all over this name. And I think this would be one of the largest holdings in my portfolio based on its valuation and where I think and the potential for Alibaba. But it's not. So it is what it is. And it's a Chinese name. And unfortunately, it just keeps getting beat down. I believe that there's going to be some longs in this area, 96 to 98, like somewhere in here. You could start to build it, but I don't think I'd hold it past a drop through 96, which is right here. So if we come in, let's put a bid. I'm just going to put a bid right now. BABA into 97, 98 for some sort of support, and then if 96, I'm going to add it to the sticky note actually right now. If it takes down 96, then we'll get out. So let's start to buy 97s into 98s, and then watch out for this 96 dump. I think that's the only idea right now for Alibaba. And I mean, unless you want to go long now and use 100 as your stop. So there's a couple different options there. We still have 32 minutes until the market opens, guys.
All right, a few analyst moves for you this morning. On the upgrade side, Norwegian, top of the list here. Morgan Stanley liking that. There's Ralph Lauren, Williams-Sonoma. We'll talk about that off earnings. DraftKings to the downside again. McDonald's, Starbucks, and Tilray, guys.
Yeah, Starbucks on the downgrade. McDonald's, huh? That's an interesting one. Okay, go downgrade McDonald's at your peril. They're not going anywhere. But obviously, Williams-Sonoma, I think on our watch list, I do believe, an impressive move to the upside. There's not a ton of volume with Williams-Sonoma, but they sprinkled that good buyback, and I mean that's just what you do to get that extra couple of percentage points out of their move on earnings. But they did sprinkle the buyback in there, and overall, I mean the retail sector had been making some bottoms here, but specifically anything that fits into that home building category, got a bit of a bump. I think Lennar also reported, and they were up slightly. But I'm watching this 167 area here on Williams-Sonoma. This is just these previous lows, and you ran away from this bottom to make the recent low, and now you're trying to break back upside. Not a ton of volume, otherwise this would set up a little bit better for a one. I mean, this is how sporadic it is in the pre-market. It doesn't really set up for a break at that price on the daily chart because you're not doing anything. So when that happens, the only play is maybe there's distinct bid opportunity at the open when you like the long because there's just nobody doing anything. Like Sean commented when I was like, that doesn't make any sense that Nucor is down, but it was only 6,000 shares. It could have literally been one person selling in the pre-market, or a couple of people selling in the pre-market that caused it to be down that 1.5, and it's meaningless. And maybe something like that can happen on a Williams-Sonoma. Someone sells the news, you get anywhere close to 160, and it can be a bit of a buy. I wish there was a little bit more action in this name, but unfortunately, pre-market volume's low, so that's a wait till 9:30 trade.
Yeah, we called Williams-Sonoma yesterday, so pretty happy with it. I mean, obviously, if anyone took that advice, you got a nice little bump. It was a little bit higher earlier. Obviously, it went to 172 there yesterday on that call. And, you know, if you took it down here, like we mentioned, that's 150 up to 170. That's a nice little call right there. No volume yet, only 10,000 shares, so it's just dancing around. I do like the increased dividend, so that's obviously a big move up for Williams-Sonoma. I think that they're a buy even at these levels, but again, like, you know, this market, I feel, you know, if you buy things today for the long term, I don't think it's a great move. I mean, there's just been a huge rally up in the market the last couple of days. I mean, I called this move, and I think a lot of us thought that there would be some bounces off of such a bear market. I mean, it's not like it's rocket science to say, oh, I think the market's going to go up, but we did hit the Fed right on the head there yesterday. I don't think a lot of people expected this kind of a move Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We got it, we called that, and now I'm calling a short, and I've said that over and over again. I actually have Microsoft, Affirm, Rivian all listed as shorts on my sticky note, and that never really happens. I don't think the market necessarily is a short. I just feel like these moves are nice. We've had bottoms before, and I'm not afraid to say that maybe we retest. I don't know about the very bottom, but something. They're raising 7 times. I mean, it's not, you know, their forecasted rate is near 2.8. So that's like unbelievable move to the upside there, and inflation's still not under control, and that's going to affect WSM, right? I mean, as they get a lot of their products shipped in, we'll have to see about the supply chain, and then if the economy's not great, will people be buying higher end furniture? I don't know, but hey, it's a great move up. If you bought anything into here, this is where we talked about buying it, right? Into these teeth. So you did it. It's great. I don't think we revisit down here, but you know, we could get back into 150, 155, something like that. So watch out for Williams-Sonoma. I love the name though.
All right, let's bring in Arun here, get a check of the overall market coming off of that impressive rally off the Fed yesterday. Arun, what do we need to know today?
A nice little reversal after 230 or so, straight from the bottom. We went about 100 and change points, and here we are kind of taking a little break. We are drifting off to the downside a little bit, but I think there's a decent chance for a long to set up. We just got to find the right spot to do it at. I'm going to use 4,300 as the potential break point here. So anything in front of 4,300 that sets up as a long, I'd like to be a part of that. The other thing I'd like to watch out for is if we were to get back up to what is 43.65, around that area, that's where we've kind of double topped a little bit here. I want to see what happens here. If we can actually get above and trade strong above it, then maybe a long on an extension. But if we fail one more time up there after taking out new highs, I think you have the option to go for shorts there with the 43.85 level, which has been around for about a week or so. So we can definitely use 43.85 for potential shorts of a high break fail, or look for longs as this market comes back down. We're now sitting at 43.30. So a little bit more to the downside would help the situation, obviously make the risk a little bit better in terms of risk reward, but we need that setup though. Critical that we get that set up, because, you know, as great as yesterday's reversal was for the upside, if we start to lose any support points through the bottom, we really don't have anything stopping us from going right back to what returned yesterday, which was around 42.40. So there's a lot of space to the downside. So we need that stability to find that long. As long as we can get it, that trade's available in front of that 4,300. All
right, wanted to get your thoughts quickly, Arun, if we could, on oil as well. Pretty impressive here, bouncing off 100 back to session highs. What are you thinking on that front?
Well, I mean, we've had oil. Oil's about to change contracts too, by the way, for anyone watching. We're still on, the volume's still on the April contract, but the May contract will take front month soon. So we do have to keep an eye out for that change. But at the same time, the move is pretty solid. Nice little trend overnight. But at the same time, you got to worry about this 105 into 108 area. That's where the majority of the resistance is sitting. So I want to see, as long we're up, what, 101 right now, up 6.3%. If we can go up a little bit more, we should be able to hit that resistance zone and then start looking for fades. But again, with the strength of oil and the way that oil has been moving recently, you do have to be very, very careful. If you're going against the grain, meaning against the trend, you have to be very smart and time this properly. Otherwise, it's going to run you over very quickly. So 105 to 108 is my resistance zone. I just need to set up before I go ahead and take a shot on the short side on oil.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. We'll let you get back to it. Let's jump into what else we need to know heading towards the open here, guys. Under 30 minutes before we get the market going for a Thursday. That is the link to the morning watch list we send out every single day before we come on at 8:30. Miss V will help you out in the chat. Ask her nicely. She will get that for you. And we'll jump right into it. Let's talk about Chinese stocks to lead things off here. We saw unreal moves in some of these yesterday, including the volume. The volume itself, a story here right across the board, 10, 20x sometimes on relative volume specifically for Chinese names, guys. What do we do with this group today?
So many of these were up just insane amounts. And I know there's a few that got skipped. Oh, goodness. For these Chinese names, like I don't have Pinduoduo for like the first hour either. Well, it's weird. Like a few stocks, I'm gonna apologize in advance for these charts. Like I'm missing like an hour on like 3 or 4 different symbols. So it's gonna seem like this entire move up on Pinduoduo was a gap up. It was not. Trust me, it did make a secondary push off the open. But what I'm concerned with now is you're getting right back into, this is one of the better examples of it. This is one of the better examples of you're getting right back to essentially last week tops. Now some names sort of broke out, got past those highs from last week. I mean, the NASDAQ was able to sort of break that level a little bit, but this got right there at 44 and then made a bit of a not a right-hand turn. We're gapping down off of those levels. And anytime you make a move like this, that's almost a double up. Double. I mean, like I was showing an Avis in a couple of weeks, almost a double up. That's a double up in 2 sessions on Pinduoduo. Like, come on, like that's a bit much. I'm looking for this one to be a fade off of 44. I mean, hopefully when I do this on Alibaba, it'll actually have that time in the chart. But yeah, okay. So we're actually getting it all on Alibaba. But Alibaba, difference being like it made the breakout from that resistance. So it was able to break that resistance from last week that was struggling, got through some of those levels up to a 106, which makes it just a little bit more bullish. And of course, there's a big difference between like a 25 to 40% move, depending on what you're talking about, and going up 100% on Pinduoduo. And fundamentally, clearly, you have 2 very different companies as well. So, I'm sort of the same thing. I wrote down 96 for myself for Dip and Baba. I wasn't 100% sure we get there, but I like that level. Anything that's at post-Fed bounce, if that's where I'm looking to buy things. If they bounced at a level like AMD 110 to 111, it bounced at that level. If we dip, that's where I want to be trying to get it here today. But there's a big contrast between something like Alibaba and then a PDD, right? So I'm looking to fade this one into 44. I just feel sometimes some of these things have gone too far too fast. And the reversal trade or the gap fill back into the downside, risk to reward a lot of times just sets up a little better. And that's what I'm seeing here on PDD. For those watching Mullen, it just made a retest of that high of the day, which is also the multi-day high in the daily chart. That's around just above that 210 area here. So it just put a second test in on that level and it started to fade off here. It's held 2 for now. I was looking to play this right at 9:30 for like a pop and fade or potential breakout on Mullen. I'm really sort of ambiguous to either way that it goes. I'll play in front of that level or I'll play a breakthrough on Mullen. It's doing 30 million in volume. So this is, I guess, the most active name in the market this morning in terms that I could find that's of a gapper, up 20%. Again, it made a huge base off of $150 and looks like it's trying to break out.
Look, I would just stay long that Mullen until you're wrong, which could give it to you fast. But it's only 9:08, so wait out for that one. We've already talked about Alibaba. I've tweeted it out. It's that long at 97, 98. We'll take that. But I was also looking right here, like, NIO's a monster move upside here, and it was just $13 2 days ago. So, yeah, about that. We'll see where we go. NIO wasn't moving up too much yesterday until we get that huge move. So if you look at NIO, it was still disappointing. I mean, obviously, we traded it yesterday. We were long. This is the only negative. I think we might have had one other negative name yesterday. But we were starting to hit the long yesterday on NIO. And then look, it didn't go. It didn't have like the BABA runs or anything like that as much yesterday. as it could have. But again, I wonder if this is an EV problem right now, supply chain, parts, things like that coming through. But there's the move into the close. It was a monster starting right there. Once Jay Powell started speaking, man, 2:30, the whole market took off, and that brought NEO with it. So if today's going to be a red day, you have NEO down that 2% already. And I'm just looking at these levels right here, 18. So if 18 breaks to the downside, it's actually 1810 or so. So if you can break down through 1810, then I think we can retest some of these levels, 1720. So now that I look at some of these names, man, I mean, I'm going to switch it up and think about taking this short through 18 on NEO. Should be a good one. What is it? It's only 9:10. Just quickly before we go over to Valeria, let's just see what happens here on the imbalance locator. And I don't really see anything at all. So I mean, there's a couple oil names on here. I saw CVX there. I see Oxy here. Oh, darn it. Every time I do that, it just goes right over to the chart. I got to put it over here. Gold. Yeah. So there's BOBA with a small sell. That's not. Man, BOBA was at 100 when I said to buy it. Now it's up to 102. Okay. I didn't say to buy it at these levels. Other than that, yeah, I don't even see. I was looking for NEO. I forgot what I was looking for. Yeah, I don't see NEO on here at all. So we'll wait to see if anything changes coming into the open. But right now, doesn't seem to be too much interest here in a lot of these names. So I think there's a lot of people on the sidelines like I am, just waiting to see what happens. Let's go over to Miss V.
Hey guys, welcome everyone again. Please help us to get more likes before the open. Smash the like button and let's continue with Brandon.
Yeah, let's continue along. We'll go to EV World. I'll tell you about the big one in the group, Tesla, this morning. There was a report from Bloomberg. It was actually late in the day yesterday, but just worth a note here, guys. They're going to pause a proposed $1 billion bond sale because of uncertainty in the overall market. They also came out this morning and announced another price hike for China-made Model 3 cars, I want to say. It was $2,000, though. It wasn't a huge hike, but down here 1% for Tesla. But this group, pretty wild, as you can see, for Tesla anyways, yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, price increases don't, like we keep saying it over and over again each time there is one for Tesla, that when you have no trouble filling demand and when you've solved some of the problems in terms of making them, then price increases are fine. It's a different story when they up their prices. That's just more the reality of inflation than anything else. I wish I could say that I saw a setup right here in Tesla, but you know, yesterday it'll be pie in my face because 800 was the dip buy level. I canceled my bid literally at 827 or 828 or something like that, or 928, and that's a stinger, obviously. But outside of 800, there's still those 855 to 860 tops. Those are the two levels to work off of. I don't have anything in the middle on Tesla. So, you know, you're going to see me, if I look at the auto names, it'll probably be sticking to, like XPeng's moving a lot this morning after an investment that they made. I think that's worth watching a little bit. But if Tesla gets to 800, yeah, you know, sign me up back for that level or buying in front of it. You know, we get to that 855, 860 area. I think you've got a potential for a bit of a fade. At some point, maybe we start to break out from there. But even if you get past the 860, like look at the level of consolidation that there has been below 900, that 880 to 885, that 855 to 860 levels, just multi-day below that price. So, you know, if we can hold 800 to hopefully set up for a run there, that has to happen still. But let's not play it in the middle. Like Tesla is not, to me, like it's, if you scalp off a big level, fine, but you have to let it get to one of those extreme levels and then it makes some sense. It's not doing anything in the middle here.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say there, but except for the fact that, yeah, the pricing power, I'm not really worried about anytime Tesla comes through with pricing changes. And I don't think the people that drive around Teslas, and look, there are lower priced vehicles. And when we saw the up, I think it was $3,000 or $4,000 yesterday to the Model 3, I believe. And then the X was up to 145 or something. So, and you know, that didn't affect anything yesterday at all. You have that monster move up. I memean, everything from 230 is going to look crazy. So, you know, if we get back to some of these lows, you have that 800 bottom. But again, like I'm not confident in a directional move here for the market. So for Tesla, I'm going to wait. I don't think you're at any of the, well, not that I don't think, I know you're not really at any of these extremes yet. And I apologize for this chart. It looks ridiculous because we have all these wicks. But again, I feel like not even here, not even 880. Like I'm worried about this kind of a short up here, 950, something like that, which is a while away. And this is what I mean. For me, as a hold, I think you want to get Tesla a little bit lower if you're lucky enough to get it near 750, 760 as a long-term play. And this is what I was talking about with extra pressure there, I believe. And he said, what? Now you don't want to buy Apple for long-term? No, hell yeah, I want to buy Apple for long-term. I'm just thinking that after, like, I've already pulled the trigger. Prad beat me. I got long 151 and change. But you know, when the market moves down is when you want to buy stocks, right? Not on the way up. And there's nothing wrong with buying them on the way up. If you feel you're underweighted on Apple right now, you could take a position here. I think Apple climbs a lot higher than where we are now. There's no doubt about that. A year from now, I think Apple is back to 175, 180, even taking out these highs. So I don't have a problem buying Apple at these levels. But why not, if there's market uncertainty, why not wait just to get better prices? That's all. So it's like, I don't think today's a day that we rush to put positions in to our long-term portfolio. But I mean, if there's names you like, you're not going to look back and say, oh my God, I can't believe I got Apple at 158 and I didn't wait for 154. Like ultimately, I believe that you're holding a lot of these high quality names for the longer term. And that's what, you know, where I am on that. And, you know, as an investor, I think you just buy all the high quality names. I'd just rather buy them on dips rather than moves up.
Yeah, good point. Let's talk oil here, guys. We got Arun's take on the futures there, but the individual stocks, kind of interesting in the sense that, I mean, the market negative, 0.4 for the S&P right now to the downside. CVX here up 1.7%. Crude oil's up 6.5% at session highs. There's a decent base here on some of these if you go back just the past couple of days. You know, a lot of price action below where we are today. But kind of stuck in the middle for a lot of these if you compare the move in oil, the move in the market, and the move in these stocks.
I still think we're when it comes to the equities, you're still talking about Oxy being the momentum name. I mean, Buffett bought more. He's buying more Oxy. And see, you're right, CVX, Chevron, and look, we talked about this before. Like sometimes you just mentioned, Sean, like buy on dips. The other thing is sometimes you've got to grit your teeth. And every time something goes parabolic, that you'd think doesn't necessarily belong parabolic, it's usually a good idea to sell it. And I get it. If you look at days like this, and I'm sort of talking back to like the 8th when you had that sort of parabolic move in. If you sell the day out, it doesn't look great to have sell some shares at a 165 or 166. It's never going to look fantastic because you get that other spike up and you could have had $10 higher. But usually you're signaling that, you know, there's a pullback coming. And Chevron to me is still relatively weak in this space. So I see this 161 here, which is forming that base, and say, okay, well, rather than just automatically say oil's up 5%, this is up 1.8, go long Chevron through 161, I'm looking for opportunities to fade this. If it plays catch up, then I want to fade it playing catch up, and that's going to be at that 165 level, which has been good. Every $5 level has been pretty solid here in Chevron. So I'd rather be looking the other direction here. I think Oxy is the name that you look for the strength in for the long side of the trade. Oh, goodness, I just typed it wrong. Oh, wow, that was quick. Awesome. Yeah, Oxy's a name that looks a lot stronger if you're looking for those long trades. And I think any dip to 55 looks pretty solid. It's not anywhere near a great breakout level. That'd be talking that 59. You can have a quick look-see at a 56 level as well. But, you know, I want to be very, very patient with this because we saw the other day when this had like a few times where it's had that dip and rip mentality on Occidental. But I'd rather be fading Chevron on moves up and buying dips in Oxy. Like it's just clear which one is the momentum up stock and which one is lagging.
Yeah, I like I like CVX. I mean, we talked about that again with the dividend and everything like that, and the buyback is there. But I got to shout out Tyrone Biggums here because, you know, it's a good point. I've been looking at Jets for a while there, and I'm not in it. But, you know, this is that ETF that holds 10% of the top 4 airlines there. We've talked about that over and over. You can go ahead and look at it. I think that's a good call, man. Like if oil starts to rip up, which it's doing, you're up 7% right now. You know, why not buy this name on the downswing. So like, you know, when oil was at 130, Jets went as low as like $17 here. Like, you know, why not just pick it up? If we can get this long, like at 18.5 here, like that's a pretty decent level for this. And the thing is, it's a diversified, like as far as the names you're holding. So you're not really taking any single stock risk at all. And that's why I keep recommending Jets, because really, whether or not it's AAL, Delta, UAL, whatever, you know, any of the airlines, really, it doesn't Spirit for the parts, anything you want, you know, you take away that sort of risk that someone guides lower or something. Sure, it would affect the ETF and it may affect the whole industry, and that's fine. But if you believe in travel eventually coming back to some sort of, you know, exciting levels of, I guess I was just trying to say, like, if travel gets popping again, I don't know when that's going to be. Jets can go lower. I mean, we've seen it trade here. But look where we were pre-COVID, man. You were like 30, 31, 32 bucks. And I know that we can look at airlines and have that same kind of a look, but I just like this Jets name, and I like it down here. And this is 17, 18 bucks. So like I said, if oil pops, I actually like this play because I'm not in any airline. So I think this is a good one, man. Jets, I like it. Good job, Tyrone.
I was going to mention, guys, the largest opening interest increases, so market on open orders, some of them popping up just now. Alibaba, Facebook, Uber, Apple, and NVIDIA. Facebook, interesting here as well, trying to hold 202 right now, back above 202. I mean, a lot of stocks looking like this, kind of a little bit down from where we were at the end of the day yesterday, but still holding the top end of the range. So Meta, what do we do with that today?
There might be
Facebook?
I think, yeah, well, it's interesting you just mentioned open interest. I actually didn't see much on the imbalance. I'll take a second look at the imbalance locator because I wasn't really seeing a heck of a lot.
Well, it's not out yet because it's NASDAQ.
Oh, it's NASDAQ. But I mean, even the New York names, like there's nothing that's standing out. There's a few oil names up there, and XPeng, because it's actually moving the most out of those names. But, you know, I look at Meta, and you can say the 200 level because it's a round number, but I don't actually think the 200 is held that much weight. I just look back to anything that broke out from their last week's highs. I look to that as support. That's a 98 to 99 level that I think you can pull back in. There's another chart that I'm just missing data on. So Facebook, well, 198 to 199, like that's to me the target range on any kind of a dip. It can break 200 and still find a bit of a base. It got a good double bottom in there. I'm only calling it a double bottom just because it tested in 2 weeks in a row, but really it based out here multiple times, and you're just trying to get back to where it was at the beginning of March. So there's room to go to this 210 to 212 level, but I like, oh, now it filled in. But I like this 98 to 99, and there you go. Like it just to quickly show, like before Powell came out, that was actually the low. You ended up breaking it. But just remember, that's a bit of a liquidity vacuum as well. Before that environment, it was that 98 to 99 area that was holding up on Facebook.
Yeah, so yesterday, I mean, I can't, honestly, this was the biggest trade for a while for me. So was Palantir yesterday. And we hit back-to-back jacks on Facebook yesterday. We have the long early at 195. We scalped some out at 196, then another third out at 196.50. So that's $1, then $1.50. Then we held the last third for a 200 print, man. So that's a $5 winner straight off the bat yesterday. Made us feeling like Superman. And then guess what? We layered these orders, and I was telling this to my kid after the show, and I was telling you guys on the show that, you know, I layered these in, and I wouldn't have done that if I didn't have an out, and our out was down here at 194.25. So obviously layering them in here on the Fed, because I didn't know when we would stop here. Like, when would the Fed stop? Like, we got a nice bottom there at 197, then it popped back to 198, and we took the dollar out, and then it came right back in. And this is why we layered them, right? 197.50, 198, 197.50, 196.50, and then 195.50. Literally dollar, all the way down in, and we had our plan of action. And when you study, and when you have your plan of action, and it works, this happens. A lot of the time, it can kill you, though, right? And that's just part of trading. Like, and then there it was. We take that price. Our average price at this point was 196.50. You guys saw that on the show. This first out was not a winner, and then we got some out at the 50 period for 50 cents. Then $1.50 we took out. These are all profits. Then $2, and then the final, coup de grace here was all the way up to 203.50 off of a 196.50 long, right? So there we go again. That's another $6 winner to end the day. So we had back-to-back monster winners on Facebook, and I just feel like, hey, I don't know. I want to be long Facebook. I am long Facebook. It's a name that I really like. I think it's one of the better names based on how far it's come down. I don't think it's like I own more Google, I own Microsoft, and I own more Apple than I do Facebook. But just because it's moved down so much here, obviously, I don't need to tell anybody that. This has a ton of room to go back up to the upside. I don't think the metaverse is anything that's going to tip the needle for them, which is why they're down here. They took a $10 billion write down on their last quarter for developing the metaverse. Like, people aren't going to be sitting around in meetings on the, wearing these Oculus headsets and stuff like that. Although we did come home yesterday and my daughter was on the Oculus and she was doing something called working or something, and she was a mechanic and she was throwing around license plates all over the auto shop there. So that was a lot of fun for her. And I think that for gaming and stuff like that, I really like the headset, and I think there's a lot of opportunities there. But honestly, I'm waiting to see what their next quarter shows as far as how much of a loss they do have. They did open up that Meta factory or whatever it was there in Spain. We should have talked to Lewis about that. But there it is, coming back down in. And I don't really have a play for Facebook today. Again, I want to see the action. If we're lucky enough to get something into the mid-190s, then we'll take it. It's just, I started the show, and we got to hurry up. I understand that. But I started the show talking about the NASDAQ not being able to find a direction and that I wasn't sure of the direction. Well, look what's happened since I've basically said that. Coming in here at the highs, we start, the show down here. It's 1380. Dips all the way down to 13,835 or something, retesting those lows. And now we're back up, taking out the 50 period. So not only am I confused about the market, but I think the market is a little confused on what it wants to do as well. So let's watch out for Facebook. Can it fall? Yes, it can. Can it rip? Yes, it can. So for right now, we're going to wait on Meta, and I don't really have a play, unfortunately.
All right, let's get through a couple other ones here. We're just kind of joking off camera about what time it is. I didn't even realize what time it is. We talked about WSM earnings out decent, forecast pretty good as well for Williams-Sonoma. Chip stocks as well, guys, back to the downside ever so slightly here, but super strong yesterday for all of that group.
Yeah, well, just really quickly here, because we talked about AMD in the context of the move that we saw overall in the future, in the Fed move. And there were two levels. The big one is 110, previous resistance for the last couple of sessions, and then 111. This was a nice little base that it made in the morning. So that's the target area buy range. The other name, and the one I traded to the long side, admittedly, whoops, I just hit that microphone, admittedly was Micron. And I still like Micron, but not really approaching on the way down some of those levels just yet. I like 76 to 77, but Micron just sort of holding up here, not doing a heck of a lot of volume, whereas AMD is down 2.5 and starting to approach. So I got a distinct bid in just to see if we can pick it up in front of that 110. But I do like Micron 76, 77 as well. It feels like it's a little bit of a pullback. If we were tight to $80 here, I think I might be trying a fade. And it was the same thing with AMD. We just weren't close enough to that 115 to play it through the short side. So no position just yet. I think being patient is going to be the way to go. I got offers on things like Pinduoduo, like I talked about there, and the Morgan Stanley stink bid, Lucid as well. But the chip name's a little bit further back.
Thanks, Top Dog. Yeah, hashtag confused there. People like that there. Thanks, and happy Thanksgiving. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Because I was busy saying thanks there. But yeah, turkey would be nice on a day like today. However, turkey is such a you don't really have it unless you have it in a sandwich or something outside of holidays. I mean, that's my family. I don't want to say you don't have it. Some people might, but yeah, turkey. I like a turkey club. by the way. And Pratt was hammering the sandwiches yesterday. He's like, who puts chicken and bacon and ham?
Have you never
all that
heard
in
of
a sandwich? And I'm just like, who does that? How about every bar in North America does
It's like
that?
the one thing on every menu in North America is a club sandwich.
That's what I'm trying to say, but I don't know. Even Boston Pizza, I think, has a club sandwich. Okay, quickly on the imbalance locator here. NEO, the sell, we like that sell through 18. Here, I'll just call it up right now. Did it already go through 18? Almost, guys. I like that sell, but I'm not taking it off the open. Oxy's a buy. Yeah, Brendan, I got it. XPEV, family, Baba as well for a sell. People want the imbalance locator, boys. And then there's a sell in Ford, but without any further ado, Brendan at the big screen with a minute left.
All right, real quick, guys. IMPP, oil stock. There's 280 to 3. There's 2 to 180. I'm going to do my best not to trade it unless it's in one of these two areas. Otherwise, HYMC, kind of it on small caps, guys.
So, I see Faisal's like, yeah, get into the car short. Look, that
was like 15 seconds.
That was
Brendan
as fast as it's possible for him to do. I'm going to try to be quick about this, but look, Avis has a $7 spread right now. I'm not like I wouldn't even suggest being in it yet. It just doesn't make any sense. Wait for it to open up, and if you miss the move, you miss the move. Like, that's just part of the game sometimes. $7 spread, like give me a break. Unless you get a magical fill on the offer, which I don't see any of that happening right now. If you're in it, you've maybe made some money because the only ticks have been to the downside. But I think being patient is the way to go. Mullen with only 20 seconds. Mullen is making some moves at that high of the day as I try to get it up there. Looks like it's going to try to make that run at that 215 level. Ms. V is the only one in a true green outfit on this day. Let's see if the market can get green. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody.
Yeah, buddy.
Is Tony in green? Can't tell.
Tony's
Tony.
always in green, man. Tony's got the good
3, 2,
stuff.
and 1. Ring it. What did I just get?
But I did notice Tony there looks like he's in a long sleeve shirt when it's supposed to be 17 today.
But he wears short sleeves every day.
No, the thing is, that's what I'm saying. Like when it was minus 12, the guys were wearing short sleeves. Today we have like a record warm day, and he's wearing long sleeves. Okay, that's fine. We love Tony. Into a firm right now, right? This is the level that we liked, man. I mean, and what else are we supposed to do? We're into this short right now at 33.70. Let's see. This is the affirm call that we made earlier, up to 37. I like this short affirm. The only position that we're in, and we waited for this, so far so good. Let's see what happens with this affirm short. I like it.
Just trying to get into. There we go. Actually, just got pin duo. I was offering a little higher on a firm, didn't get it, but I actually got Morgan Stanley in front of 90. That happened rather quickly, so we just got into that name. But PDD was the one we liked out of all the Chinese names. That's what I'm searching for because of the gap up. I still have that gap in the charts, but you see it just break the floor there. And this one works all the way up to 44. If it gets to 44, I'll probably be taking 2 swings at it. This one I'm giving to pre-market highs. It has to get through that 40 area first. That's the first shoe that has to drop. I just watched AMD come right down in. Oh, no, not quite. Coming down into that 111 level. So it looks like it is going to be testing that low. And for Mullen, that was when we're looking to see if it could take out that high in the rollover trade. It doesn't make too much of a bounce. It got to 214 there. I was looking for that fade. I just was not fast enough to grab it. Was getting into pin duo at the time. We'll ring the register a little bit for some Morgan Stanley as we grabbed the first level of that bounce. Zoom in here. First level of that bounce. Get in front of 90.50. If we can get to 91, I like that trade. We'll see if we can't get the rest of it out there. And going to be tracking Tesla as well. And now that the market's open, and there's not as crazy of a spread. It's still a big spread on Avis, by the way. Not as big of a spread. I am looking now getting into the trade. You don't take this at the open. You could have got 74s, and then it goes up to 82. It's still a $3 spread. So I want to see it settle down just a little bit more, but I still do favor the fade. Just let it settle. Let it settle. The stock's crazy.
Yeah, we're not, we called the Microsoft short, but we like to short up if it started to rip, and it just never did happen. NEO, look at that. I mean, it's now open, and it is absolutely crashing. I mean, we thought this would happen for NEO, but unfortunately, it does open up sub 18, and I didn't want that. So we could have been short this name. We should have been short that name. But here goes Alibaba. We're long into where we wanted it, so let's take a piece out at 90. Bang, there it is right there. A quick 50 cents, man. We're barbecuing it up again here today, guys. Let's see how far this one wants to go. Doesn't want to take out 98. There's Alibaba quickly. We are looking at this 96 break, though. It takes down 96. We're gone on Alibaba, so we're going to put that order in right now. Long Alibaba, short Affirm. Affirm's printing as well, so let's see if we can get going. Look at this market, though. It's Crash City right now.
Yeah, it's Crash City for Pinduoduo rolling over. It breaks that 40 level on that quick wick down. I took the 3/4 for some shares out. I do want to find a chance to reload this name if I can, just a little bit here. Zoom back out. If I can get a reload anywhere near like that 40 to 40.50 area, maybe even 41s on a bounce back up, we're going to go ahead and take it. To the long side, you're now going to see AMD bouncing off that 111. Oh, come on, get my first scalp out there. Just bouncing off that 111. I grabbed 111.10s. We like that channel as well, so we'll ring the register on that a little bit. So, we got a couple of longs off the dips. Both AMD and Morgan Stanley we've taken some profit on, and Pinduoduo. I'm actually looking to reload that one to the short side. I never got Lucid, so I suppose that means it only tanked. Yeah, I'm sitting there on the offer. That's what happened to Lucid. Sometimes you have to be sitting in it, but Lucid coming right back in to those levels where we can try to short it. So these are the prices I would have been sitting in, hopefully off the open. We'll see if the second time through on Lucid will be just as good, but just got a new short there. So 2 longs, 2 shorts. Not intentional, but the setups are the setups.
$1 in the money right now on Alibaba after calling that long, and we added this one to our sticky note, and here it goes, man. We said we'd buy this one at $97.50. That's exactly what we did. It's $99 right now, and starting to make a move to the upside. So here we go. We already took out 40% of this trade. Let's see if it gets back up here, man. Why can't we test 100 again? So we're going to put an offer rate at $99.75. Let's go with. Let's offer $99.75 here. We're already in nicely now $1.20 in the money on Alibaba, and yay, it's working out again for us here today. Up to 99 bucks goes Alibaba. Look at the market ripping. I tried to get Facebook through 202. We didn't get it. It made a move down. We tried to punch this. We were not aggressive enough. And there goes Facebook back up to the upside. Let's go, Baba. Baba right now. Again, another one, Neil. $1.75 in the money. Let's go, Alibaba.
Yeah, just took out the dollar on Morgan Stanley. I'm going to hold on to my AMD trade as well. As that one looks like it's going, come on, load up. It looks like it's trying to make a run at that 112. I want to see a consolidation and potential break. I'm not taking it out till about 113. 115 would be a fade. Looking for the reload right now on PDD, but we got to go to Brendan quickly.
All right, PIK, Kid Pick up on news with Disney. Guys, they're teaming up for new release of this Cheaper by the Dozen movie, it would appear, on Disney+. So PIK, 120%, huge mover here on big-time volume.
You, Mullen.
Yeah, I never forget. I mean, I always forget Mullings. I don't look at it because we're too busy cashing out right now as Alibaba right up to that 99.75 there, guys. So if you only need one trade today, I mean, that Alibaba is a nice one. I like it. We'll see if it goes upside. We are out. Thank you, Ms. V. Nice green. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully this is Guinness, but I think it's coffee. That's coffee. Okay, there we go. Facebook with there's our fill. So we got the fill up there right now, 202.50 on Facebook. The market moved high there, right? And so it was a nice. I mean, we talked about being confused. Hello, there's the market, just as confused as always. Down here to the day's low. Up again to the pre-market high. Well, I mean, not the pre-market highs, but some highs that we were testing before and now fading back in. So obviously we can't hold this Facebook long if the market's going to tank City again at some point today. So we're just going to use that bottom right there. 201 as the bottom for Facebook. We'll average into that. If it dips out today, it dips out. And we will take an L on Facebook if that's the case. But I mean, Baba continues to make a move upside. Rivian Affirm. Rivian. I wanted to get short Affirm. So we are. There's Affirm. We'll beat that stock up a little bit here. We're short right now, 33.85. We just took a 63 fill, so that's 20 cents. We'll see if Affirm can't make a move back in to these kind of levels. Look, if the market crashes, I have Affirm, so I'm pretty happy with it. Let's maybe lighten up a little bit on Facebook here. Actually, no. Let's just trust our read again. We did it yesterday. Let's do it again today. If it takes this bottom out, 201, we'll get out of Facebook. But so far, so good on everything, man. 3 for 3 to start the day.
Yeah, just got the reload on Pinduoduo, so we'll see what happens. The first one was good. The second time, we're going to take a shot at that pre-market high. So reload was just at about 40.90. Average price now 40.77. AMD just made another test. It keeps trying to break this 112 level. We got the 111 long. We need to break this back out and see if we can't get 113, 114 on the rest of this trade. Mullen, I said we'd take the short in front and then reverse into a long. So I grabbed the short on the curl. that immediately stopped out, and now we're into the long side of the trade. So once you break that multi-day high, if you haven't watched, this is a multi-day high break on Mullen. It broke at pre-market, but post-market matters. Sorry, intraday market matters a little bit more for those breakouts to me. Now I'm looking for the long side of the trade, support down into $2. So Mullen long, and of course AMD longs. Micron, sort of the same thing, although it didn't dip into 77. I was able to get AMD. I like Micron just as much. That's just as good a long 77 as AMD is at 110, 111. Brendo?
A bit of a dip for the airlines off the open there, guys. Delta bouncing back, though. They just came out with a 4% pay raise for all employees. So good on DAL off 35.5 there.
Yeah, I mean, oil's up to 7.5% right now on the day. So, look, I mean, this can't be going any better than I thought it could today. I mean, there's the long Facebook. We're $1 in the money on Facebook. We're at $2 in the money on Alibaba. But our Affirm is starting to go to the upside. So we took a piece out there for 20 cents. Then we took a piece out there for a 10-cent loss. And now we're starting to go upside here. It's actually fine because everything else is really ripping like nuts. But at the same time, we don't ever want to take a loser. And right now, Affirm is just that, coming back down in now. But there's that 34.50 talk. On the sticky note there, I said let's watch out for a 37 top. So that's why we had to get out of a little bit there. We are looking at that. That's the 20-minute I need right here. There's the 20-minute. So there's the move up. Ooh, that was a good short right there at 34.50. We'll look to take that again, 34.50 on Affirm. It's right here right now, so we should probably do that trade. But the market, yeah, well, that's okay. The market is coming down in now. Yeah, I'm not looking at any gift horses yet, but we did just look at gift horse in the mouth on Baba as it does go up $2 into the money. We didn't take it, but hey, the people's traders here. Let's see if we can hold this for a little bit longer.
Yeah, reload on Pinduoduo. Again, we'll take the quick buck, 41 into 40, and try to hold on to the main position. I did get into CAR. Let it settle down. I got essentially 79s to the short side. I got a bid down in front of 72. See if we can't grab $5 on the first leg there. If there's one that right now everything's in the money with one exception, not the one I expected. Lucid's the one that's giving me trouble. So it's weird. Like Lucid and I put Affirm into the category as well. Like those two names, which usually are pretty money shorts at the open. A lot of times Lucid putting a test at that high. It's not really breaking out yet, but it is going a bit counter trend. So I do have to watch out for Lucid. Pinduoduo is okay. It looks like Mullen is still trying to make that reversal. It got up to 225, and I didn't really take anything off. That's probably a mistake. Like it's a $2 stock. I'll take something in front of quarters and then something probably in the 30s as well. But it's a slower move upside than what I was anticipating here. I kind of thought it might scream after breaking that multi-day high, but still running rather nicely here on Mullen. I did lose on the short side first before we got that long. AMD. We got first leg out here in front of 111. Now it's making that run at 113. This market needs to pick a bit of a direction. I did think there was a chance to fade 115s. So if we do get up to that 13 level, I am going to take my $2.50 if it wants to give it to me, or at least $2 at that 113 level. So I'm going to get on the offer. Can't seem to make that break just yet. Brendo?
I was going to say HMC. AMC's gold mine, HYMC starting to go here, guys. Back to 150 on decent volume. Wasn't doing much in the pre-market there, but big buy just came in for Highcroft.
Highcroft Mining. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. We do have a new position alert right now. We do have Rivian back in the building right here. I don't know. I thought, again, I wasn't looking at it. I was working on some order management over here. But yeah, Rivian right now starting to make that move. We should have just took 50s there. We're short at 80, so I do have a bid down there now at 50. Hopefully that'll come through, and then we don't have any issues with this trade. But that's what I'm looking at right now on this trade. So Rivian right now, into this trade to the short side. I like it. It's not bad. So again, we've dumped a couple times at a hundy right here for Baba. So let's not get like too crazy. Let's just put an order right now at 99.80. Again, we've already cashed out once at this level. We could do it again. If the market crashes down here, we already have a lot of shorts on board. So we have Affirm, which I like, and we have, there it is. There's a nice little take right there on Rivian. Here it comes. Let's go, Rivian. Nice little move to the downside here on RIVN. We are on the bid again, I thought. Yeah, we're at 29, not 39. So here it comes down in now. So let's see if Rivian wants to take this move in. It just hit, as if it hit 29. Oh my God, that was funny. I didn't even see that. We were at 29 there. So let's switch our bid again over on Rivian. That's crazy. We did have a 29 bid. If we had a 30, we'd be filled, but we didn't. Brendo.
Another earnings name starting to go here. Warby Parker, the glasses retailer, back to the upside, was down huge after a miss, but trying to get back to where we were yesterday for WRBY.
So we're going to line it up, sink the little three-pointer there like a Jokic, like he only does. 2 for 2 for a big man. I love that guy. AMD, talked about 113 being the next curl. So, look, I like these structured trades. If it runs, it runs. I almost don't care. It's just that 111 we loved. 110 I like a little bit better. But we got the front end of the channel on the curl. Allow it to bounce through, then take it on the way back up through 111. Scalps them out the first 50. Then get our 113, so in and out like a charm. Car, the volume is not really what you'd like to be able to see here. So, unfortunately, it does bounce off 280. So 280, 300, 320, those are kind of the three levels that I'm looking off of. And it bounces off that 280 at the open. There's liquidity at 79. And then immediately there's just a bid at 275. So it's going to be a $4 scalp. But that's mostly because it's not doing much. And I just want to make sure I'm taking some profit. If it makes another squeeze higher, I don't want to get too trapped. And Pinduoduo, which I'm holding on to the short of, has now broken the low once again. So the reload working on PDD. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so this is why I like the Pinduoduo short. Look at the amount of room it has. Like, forget about the afternoon bottoms at 38. If it just even goes back to like 35s where it was in the morning, like that's a monster gap to try to be filled in here. So Pinduoduo working, hanging on to that Avis, but I'm in and out like a ninja on that AMD long. Miss V.
Hey Neil, we've got a super chat from Giovanni. Thank you so much. Oxy is looking good. And indeed, Oxy is ripping guys up more than 8%. Back to you.
Oxy?
Oh, no, I am on the bit of Oxy. No, it never dipped. That's why.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So,
I
no, it's like, oh,
8%.
Yeah, I'd heard the word dip, and I'm like, but I was on the bid in front of the pre-market low, and they didn't even give it to you. There wasn't the dip here. It's just a pure breakout style play into 58. So it's super strong. I'd just maybe go back to the breakout at 56. At this point, the way that I was looking to play oil was dip equity Oxy longs, not predict the oil price, and then on any strength, sort of look for key levels on Chevron for weakness to sell. And like, look at this, like Chevron actually holds at 161. Like these two stocks have a huge divergence. One is very, very bullish. Chevron, just momentum-wise, is pretty bearish. I'm kind of kicking myself. I should have probably shorted that curl at 161 in Chevron, but I'm only just noticing it now. Don't have any real targets for Pinduoduo till you get to that 35 level. And there was, apologies for not, we didn't really show XPeng there, but it had moved huge. They made a $200 million investment in some EV fund. And I guess don't spend money in this market. I don't know if that's the way it goes, but down 9% into a $25 level. That was pretty key in the afternoon. Now, I like this for a fade into that level, so I can't say that I really favor a long. But if we do get any kind of a bounce back into 26, I think that can be faded here for XPeng. Bit of weakness being shown here relative to the other EV name.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. Like, my EV name's not really. I mean, we've already cashed on Rivian, and I can't believe we missed that by 1 penny. Like, that's, I hate saying that, but that's exactly what did happen. And then that's Rivian, sorry. And then the other name that's starting to work its way down a little bit now. I don't know. This took off. So we noticed it, got some out at 34 there on that initial break. So far we're flat on this name. We're holding it against us right now. But again, that's kind of part of the plan here on this name, and is to see what happens. I was talking about shorting a firm if we got into, I still need that 20 period. Where are we? There we go. Into 37 was my issue up here. That's 37.50. We did hit 35 today. That's obviously an area of concern as well for me. So we're going to watch out. But here it comes back in right now. Let's take a piece out. Like, I got to do something here. I can't just sit on a firm. We could be wrong. This is a name that was up 18% yesterday. So there it is. We didn't even get that bid out again on a firm. 34.25 we're sitting at on a firm. That's fucking where it stopped again. It was 34.25. Okay, I have to change the gateways I'm on or something. That's back to back there. Got screwed on Rivian and then got screwed on a firm again. Literally waiting at 34.25, but that's my bad. We'll just have to adjust that and work better for that. So 34.25 is that trade. And there it is, man. Facebook, we just took another $202.50 in. We just got another out at 203.50. So, or 203. 203.30. So 203.30 right there. That's a good trade for us. Spitting out the money on Facebook one more time today.
Brendo?
A little biopharma going, guys. EIGR, which is this Eiger, biopharmaceuticals. Looks like a COVID treatment. Data coming back on the COVID treatment, better than expected. So up big time for this one.
Ooh, that looks, just be a little bit careful or cautious with this. Like for a $7 stock, I'm seeing a bit of a spread and not a ton of liquidity. It looks like it's trying to break out, but it'll stack the bid every now and then. But I immediately pulled it up, and you see a few like 1,000, 3,000 lots, but it gets pretty thin at some of these levels. So I'd tread a little bit lightly. I'm expecting this one could end up being a bit of a halter. Mullen, it pulled back a little bit there into view up, and I'm like, wow, I just missed an opportunity to get it at view up. But let's see if we can't defend like 2 to 210. Once it turns into a breakout for me, it's sort of like $2 or bust, and I'm looking for quarters and then 50s to that upside, being patient with CAR and trying not to get too impatient with AMD here, because I'm sort of looking for this to make its next move. Now that it's going sideways, we put the trade on for the dip buy, but now you're not really picking a direction. You can't get to that 115 level. You're not exactly sinking, and that brings me back over to Micron, which basically put on exactly the same move and is churning towards that 180. So I'm looking at the two chip names that I like, and I feel either you're dipping back in and then holding a higher low for a long opportunity in these names, or letting them try to make a bit of a breakout. So either or, we'll see what happens next. Pinduo Duo is now making fresh lows. The thing about it is here is like you could think about taking, a lot of times I'd be like, yeah, take it out in front of 38, the afternoon bottoms. But really, I feel like that 35, 36 should be in the target for Pinduo Duo. And I do apologize for the charts. Like, there was some post-market action that should be showing up here, but you're seeing a gigantic gap. But Pinduo Duo, of all of the Chinese movers, was the most extreme when it had, in terms of the gap. It was 22 to 44, essentially in a couple of days.
So that was only a matter of time right now. And there it is, man. We will put on the diamond hands. We have no red names today. We are not red on anything. Affirm, 50 cents in the money. Baba, $1 in the money. Facebook, we're almost flat, but we just took that print. That's only 30 cents now in the money. Rivian, 50 cents in the money. That's 4 for 4. We're 4 for 4 today, and very, very simple calls, man. So we're pretty happy. Look at Affirm. See ya, Affirm. This is the problem, man. Buy now, pay never. That's not a great business model. And here it comes back into the downside. Affirm coming down. It just touched the 50 period. I should have had a bid there. I didn't. Nice move down here for Affirm. So it's cash, 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 cash. Should have shorted more up there, but hey, we were using 37. I did think there was more of a chance to go, but there it is right now. A nice move to the downside here for Affirm. And then, by the way, how's Rivian right now? Let's go, Miss V, right there. Rivian to the downside, 81 cents in the money, cashing that out right now as well. And again, if you're saying, okay, well, maybe yesterday's sticky note was a fluke, right? There's no way you could go like multiple days in a row with these kind of calls, except for Affirm short, Rivian short. We have those written right here. Microsoft didn't give us the short. And then Facebook, we actually talked about Baba. Oh yeah, that's 2 for 2 on that. And then here's the Baba ad that we talked about right there, which has printed cash today. So far so good, man. We're pretty happy with the way this is going. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day, but it's time to address some of these because the market right now is coming back to the downside. Let's get out of Facebook, and then we'll worry about this after. Facebook, a nice win. What's up, Brendo?
All right, this Yang ETF, Lewis was talking about in the pre-market there, starting to go. Just got above that initial high on decent volume for YANG.
Yeah, careful with that Yang. Of course, there's all those ETFs, the Chinese ETFs, but that's the 3X one, man. We talked about that being a little bit less liquid and a little bit crazy. We've now broken 37.5 on Pinduo Duo, so it's running about $4 in the money at this particular point. I've got my reload on Avis. The first leg was good. We took about $4 or $5 on that, and if it breaks 285, I'm not even touching this thing again until it tests that 300 level. I am now on the bid at 35 on PDD. If it can make its second leg, fair enough. We'll see what happens with it. AMD has picked a bit of a direction. It's now tried to come back into the downside to get that bid. It just never got to that 111 level. I just checked back on Micron as well, and it's still looking relatively strong. So Micron looks like it's the better long than AMD. I wanted to see between those two on the dip, which held the higher low. It looks like that's going to be Micron, so some relative strength in that name.
All right, Micron. Yeah, well, I mean, we can look at micro. We can look at AMD as well. I mean, yesterday we had the $10 winner on NVIDIA as well that we can have a look at. Oh, just quickly here, we got out of Facebook. So Facebook ripped up there, not ripped up, but we were long at 202.45. We got out at 202.45. So we got out of our last 20% for a 2 penny winner, actually. We got out at 48, so whatever, it doesn't matter. But Facebook, again, nicely done here. I'm a little bit nervous, and just like we said, remember, confused about the market? I mean, look, I don't know, it's just bouncing up and down. That's why you got to pick your poison, pick your spots, and I think we've done a pretty good job of that so far here today. And I was way too greedy on Alibaba, man. Like, we had this 97.50. Like, it went to 99.75, and I cashed out of 20%. We still holding now 40% of this trade as it's coming back down into the downside. So I'm debating getting out if we take this 97, but the level that we liked was 96. So, if you look at that from yesterday, this is what we tweeted out here yesterday, was these levels here, 96. So we'll see if it takes down 96, then we're going to get out of Alibaba. So it's coming back in now. The market's ripping to the high side. Whoa. So that's a little bit of a strange move here for Alibaba, I feel like. Man, there goes Facebook back up. We had that one dead to rights and got rid of it. But right now, we are going to wait for a firm to come back in as that's starting to go up a little bit here, but we've already cashed out on this one, decent amount as well. And yeah, I guess Baba is the only one that's on worry right here. Let's go 96.50 long and then just get out if it breaks 96. Breaks 96 was the level that we're looking at.
Yeah, so a quick move on Mullen here. I got that leg out in front of 225, so I'm happy about that. But then someone came on the offer for 400,000 shares. It broke 25s. They jumped on the offer back at 25 after it broke back down for 400,000 shares. So it looks like it's going to make a bit of a dip here. I'm going to take this opportunity and forget about twos. We probably missed any chance to get twos at the open. Now that it's gone into that long breakout style trail, just shoot in front of VWAP, which is essentially the price that I already have. That's where the dip buy is going to be. On Avis, like I said, if it broke that 25 area, got the first leg that was good. We reload. If it broke 85, the next level I'd look at is at 300. And that's the thing. It's got a big spread, so you have to look at the key levels where there's actually liquidity here. There was at 85, people easily get out. But now I'm looking for a 300 fade. So I'm going to be patient with Avis on getting back into it. And at this point, Mullen has settled itself down a little bit. I am at least a little bit concerned that what you're seeing in the market is a bit of a bounce there. The NASDAQ trying to go green, ES the same thing, and I'm shooting for another $1 here on Pinduoduo when it's shown a couple of signs of leveling off here. So I'm going to have to put the trail in. If we take out this low, I'd probably move my trail to like a 37.5, but I don't want to completely give this one up. Like, see if I can't lock in at least $3 on this move. It's been a great short so far in Pinduoduo. It is also SSR, but I don't think that matters too much. Brendo?
More earnings, guys. Guess reported. Very light volume so far, but just made a day high, up to 21 there on decent volume coming in right now. But again, thinly traded, but Guess up about 8%.
Yeah, I don't know much about that one. You mentioned Williams-Sonoma in our chat here as that's starting to go upside a little bit after flushing down. And that's the problem with these earnings, right? It's like you don't know. I don't like playing earnings right off the bat. Again, a missed trade here, taking out VWAP again. We saw this on CrowdStrike, missed it, but this is not as strong. It's not going back to some of these highs that we already hit already today, 167, 168. That hit there early, and then it was the tank job, and now we'll see. That was the play right there. We have to put this on our radar, man, for next time. Like, anytime we see these little dip down, we should be there, ready and willing to take it, but we weren't, unfortunately. And then what kind of a play was that on Alibaba? As I was talking to you, it ripped down to 96.50. We didn't have a bid there, which we should have, and then we'd be laughing right now because Alibaba going right back up to the upside after that flush. And there's that 96. This is on the sticky note. Like, I can't do this any different. That's the play, and there it is, man. We're now bidding down here. Let's take out a piece of Alibaba. If we can get those 20s, there it is. So that time we actually get the 20s, so that's a good one. There we go, out of some Alibaba right there. It doesn't look like a huge win, but guys, it's still 80 cents. So that's a nice little take there for Alibaba. We'll wait for that reload now. This is not going to be a net red name for us, obviously, but we'll wait to see if this comes back in to that 96.50 and we'll take it. The only name right now that I'm really looking to reload would be right here, Affirm. I mean, I don't know. Does this market have it in it again? Like, I dumped Facebook there. Like, look where the hell Facebook is right now. 204.50. Like we were long at 202, man, and we got out. I thought the market might be retracing back down in. No, thank you. Facebook straight up to the upside. So with that being said, cancel my Microsoft offer here, even though Microsoft's barcoding. Like look at Microsoft today doing absolutely nothing. Maybe I don't want to cancel that offer. New position alert right here. Averaged in. Okay, we are right now in a firm. So we cashed out of this already. We put on a new position. You can see our average price is right here at 44. So let's see where a firm goes from here. I like this. We'll see if it takes out 35.
We're able to line up. I'm now out of Pinduoduo. You guys can see on the position board it's gone. I talked about that checking up at 37. I did like the 35 target, but I had the trailing stop in there. So we'll lock it in just around that 38 area, pretty much by a couple of pennies. So 41 into 38. The first leg's out in front of 39. It was just the most extreme name. Mullen's the only thing left on to the long side. It's now broken. So that seller that was there got taken out at 225, obviously, because it's at 35. Now I headed further to the upside. I want to be out in front of 250. It's not that that's scientific or anything. It's just $2, 2/4. Oops, go to the daily chart, and then 250 the level. There's nothing on the daily that matters on this thing. The 50 period, you can say all you want until about $3. I'm not sure it gets to $3, but if you're just looking at something on the higher time frame, it's $3. I never tend to believe in those types of runners that much. So I'm just going to play it to that next level up, which is the 50. It's sort of going to stand out and be a little bit obvious, but that's what I want to go with. Micron, I was just setting up for, the dip buy on Micron, and then it made the break through that 79. So it did not give you back into VWAP. This is now starting to really go. Market looking pretty strong. I'm going to have to try 78.5. Just dip in front of it a little bit more. I mean VWAP, which is 78.75, or 78.35. I want to make sure I'm catching this on the way back down on this upward trend. $80 is the next resistance on Micron. I actually think there's a decent chance we get there, but I don't want to be chasing this move too much. Already 10 o'clock. Wow. I just heard Brendan's ready to tell us what's happening now.
Go, Brendo.
Positive markets happening now, guys. Let's have a look at where we are at. I'm speaking of the S&P 500 just going green. Good sign. Going in the right direction. The Dow still struggling a little bit. NASDAQ basically flat, but positive as well. Same story here in Toronto. It's crude lifting some of the energy sectors here or energy stocks here in Toronto. So a positive day overall after what we thought might be a little bit tricky in the pre-market. NVIDIA, we were discussing some of the chip makers in the pre-market across the board. They were higher. NVIDIA, remember Wells Fargo adding NVIDIA to their signature list. That was yesterday. So a nice positive momentum for them. Occidental, yeah, Berkshire still buying Occidental. And Williams-Sonoma, nice report, trying to get back to the upside as well, guys. Back over to you.
Wow, man, there is like no going down here today. This market, look at Alibaba now taking off. Remember we just talked about Microsoft there? And I was like, well, it's not doing anything. Yeah, we should have taken, well, I mean, now it's come. Is it? What is wrong with my 1 minute chart here? Where is Microsoft here exactly? But anyways, it took off from this area where we were in, right near VWAP, right where the 50 period. That's 292.60, man. It just ripped up to 293.60. I feel like my chart on this is not right. I don't know. This doesn't seem right, but we'll wait for that one. Okay, we are now $2 in the money. We're gonna hold this on Alibaba now. We did take a piece out. I'm still like disgraced, and maybe we'll talk about this as the trade of the day. I don't know. There's so many today, but like why we got out of Facebook there, it cracked below. Wasn't confident in the market move, but still Facebook, a nice positive name for me, man. I'm up decent amount on Facebook, so it's fine. But Rivian right now Affirm, we've averaged into this one, and we have to now think about some outs because honestly, I did not think that some of these names like this, Affirm up 17% yesterday, up another 5% today. Like to me, this is too high, but hey, whatever, man. There's the 35 short. We'll do a little bit more work here, but Affirm right now ripping, and we don't want to be caught in this, right? Because we've seen it. It can go. Like yesterday, 17%. Why can't it do that again, honestly? If the NASDAQ keeps going upside here, and I'm a bull, so I love when this happens, but I just, can't hold it too far. I did talk about 37 as a level, so I think that's what we're going to have to go with. It looks like it's 37.50 here. I still don't believe that Affirm takes out these highs, so we're going to try to hold on to this, average in a little bit more, but now we have to wait on the averaging in because it's just not really working out. The good part about it is that we've emptied out a firm. This is a new position. So we've only averaged in twice here. So this is fine for us. Let's see what a firm does. I'm talking about it, and we're out of the money 13 cents. Like, you know, it's not a big deal, but let's see what a firm does.
Yeah, I just want to come back to, it's going to be shameful coming back to Morgan Stanley off $90, and it's all the way at 92. I took the buck instead, and it's the same thing with AMD. Now the market's just on an absolute churn. Only long I got in Mullen here, and I'm on the bid. Maybe we can actually get that Micron trade. Tesla, by the way, remember 855, 860? Tesla's there. That's not the only thing happening. This is the NASDAQ, sorry, the NASDAQ futures here, 14,000.
Yes.
Also known as the top of the move yesterday. So that 14,000 level in play. So anytime I see a key level like that and there's anything that's at resistance, I think it's worth taking a shot. The 855 is what I'm mentioning here in Tesla. I know it's dangerous to wear pink shorts on St. Patrick's Day or on any day when Tesla's running, but that 855 to 860 has been resistance. 1400 lingers as well. So I'm going to get into it. The thing about Tesla is, oh goodness, I should have just hit the bid. Anyways, I might not actually get 52 and a half, which I'm sitting at, but I don't want to chase it too far. The thing about Tesla I was trying to get at is you're at least risking anywhere from like $2, $3, $5, even with a tight stop on a stock like this. But that 55 was a level that we looked at and talked about. If we're going to be at 14,000 as well for potential curl, I'm going to see if I can't get to 52s. Of course, as I mentioned that, it might be starting to get away from me as we speak, but that would mean I might catch the dip on some of the chip names at least. Should just punch short then.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, sometimes we look at these stocks and we miss the opportunity because we are too busy yapping. But there it is. Okay, Rivian to the downside. By the way, a firm's right back to flat now, so that 20 cents against me didn't last too long. We'll see if it can come back in, though. Rivian coming back down to the downside. I still think we can get Rivian at 41.50, so let's wait for that. We're short at 42. It'd be 50 cents. And again, look, boom, 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 boom. There's the reload, right? And so it is what we're doing, and we're trying to short this name. Rivian, I don't like it, and I don't like a firm. These are really the big ones, and I'm just holding on to literally 20%. Which is 20, 40, 60, 80. We're holding out. It did take 100 again, almost. Almost took 100 again on Alibaba. What's up, Ms. V?
Huh?
John McCormick. Thank you, John. This is the first day I have watched you guys. Thanks for what you do. Amazing channel. Thank you so much. And welcome everyone, guys. If you see us for the first time, please subscribe and catch us live every day from 8:30 a.m. until 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And please make sure you smash the like button and support the community. I hope you're having a very profitable green day on St. Patrick's Day, guys. Back to you.
St. Patty's Day, and I haven't checked to see. I got to look over my shoulder at some point.
I like a little R&B St. Patrick's Day
I
stuff
know.
there.
I made the assumption that Prad's in all green, but I think he's not. He's not even in the building yet.
Prad was in all green on Monday, which was St. Patrick's Day. Remember?
Well, I know, but if he was in all green on Monday, then he should be just like decked out today.
Yeah,
I did finally get that Tesla the second time through. It even gave you, like, if you took it the first time, it flushed down to 50. Another bounce there. 14,000 still very much on the offer here in the futures. That's what we got to watch out for. Brendan.
Great move for the market here, guys. Right back through two session highs. Norwegian, NCLH, we saw on the upgrade side of the board today, just made a day high, pulling back a little bit, but some of the cruise lines showing strength.
And yeah, there's no album dropping emerging. Trust me. Like that's about as much as you'll ever hear me. But Mullen, oh yeah, no dip into VWAP here. I'll go ahead and cancel some of those bids because if it's not going to come down any further than like 5 or 6 cents, there's no point. If it flushes down to VWAP at this point, I might not like it as much, so I'll let it consolidate. I'm still thinking 45 to 50 next level up.
Wow,
we'll see if we can't get it, but we're still churning upside. And I talked about maybe I'd get that Micron. I just missed the bid, so I moved it up a little bit in front of VWAP to see if I can't catch it. And this is in the context of the market trying to take out the top. You're getting a bit of a curl there. I'm still hoping that there's some kind of upward push to get me into possible fade into Chevron again. It's not showing any signs of coming back. It briefly went red on the day. No, sorry. It just bounced before turning red on the day. But the relative weakness is obvious there. And you sort of juxtaposition that with Oxy, which is right back to the open. Like, it's still up 6% and Chevron's fallen.
This is an unbelievable move. Like, I just don't believe it. Like, I mean, it's unbelievable. I don't believe it. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, Facebook right back to 205. Like, wow, what a great move. I didn't think the NASDAQ had it today, but we're only up 0.37. So what a great move it is, but what a great move it could still be. I mean, we could continue to motor up. So with that being said, we're not just going to sit here and average in until we're completely dead. So we're going to wait. Rivian right now, we're going to get out at 43. So looking here, and again, I don't want the daily, man. Where's my, there it is, okay. The 20 minute. So right into here, this is 43, 43.60, but this high right there is 43 bucks. So we hit the high of 43. We did jiggle up to 44, and this was that trade that I talked about, right? We talked about this, that if it comes up here, which it's doing, and we're short, which we are, then we want to make sure that we get out at 43 and then watch it, because there is a good possibility, I feel like anyways, that this name comes right back down after cracking. You saw what happened here. It cracked. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit more here. This is a 20-minute chart, so this is not a minute chart or anything. I can go find the minute, but this is right at the close. So right here at 3 o'clock, we had a move up, and then it hit back to the downside there. So we're going to watch out. This might have been earnings day, but for me, it doesn't matter. That wick top was right into this area, 44, and then the drop. So if we get wicked out of Rivian, which we're not, I mean, we're down 27 cents on it. And again, I'm going to call it a wick out, but it's not. I mean, if it takes out 43, it takes out 43. It's a bad trade. What are we supposed to do about it? But this one coming back in, we do have a new position alert though. It's short NEO.
Oh goodness, we got this at the same time. I was going to say Lucid and NEO both just popped. I just got.
No, but this is not even a pop. Go to yours because this is not a pop. This is just. Lucid looks like
Lucid just popped. That's what I was sort of getting. I was like, oh boy, because I got the Tesla short and then this happened. I said I'd take multiple swings at Lucid, but I didn't expect this to happen this quickly. But the second level on Lucid just came in here. So short that now 24 quarters in front of 24.50. But yeah, the market coming up here just bounced off that 14,000.
There goes
so
Rivian, by the way.
Hopefully this is the turn because if 14,000 goes, it's going to be ugly. Was that Brendan?
Yeah, a couple things, guys. It's the everything rally so far today. Lizzie, former runner, LIZI up 15% here on decent volume day highs. Global Foundries as well, GFS on a mission so far, 75 coming into play here for GFS.
Did you say 75? Ring the register after the show. Because that's, I was going to say, 75. I was pretty sure, but I wanted to check the chart first. Look at the breakout on GFS. That's great. It's huge, but it doesn't have a lot of volume. It's less than 1 million shares. It's got a big spread. I'm not saying it's a big day trading opportunity for us here, but yeah, that's a little bit of a ring the register moment, I think. I'll check back in on that one a little bit later. Great move for them overall. I was just talking about Lucid sort of spiking in here a second time. I got bids in front of 24 and then VWAP. And then Tesla will check back in. Mullen is coming back into the 2-quarter, but it's still in the money, reversing into that long trade. So I feel pretty comfortable with it. It's not going yet. That is a ridiculous candle wick. If Tesla had come down and actually printed 830, we'd be out of it, obviously. I have a bid in front of 48, and then looking into VWAP. After it just failed at 855, it spiked up, got to 54.75. I tried to then get shares short right in front of that the second time through and wasn't able to do it. Anytime was almost that failed breakout. You had the wick off top. I tried to get more shares and didn't do it. But the market is still testing that 14,000 level, so we do have to see what happens next. I never got Micron dip. If 14,000 fails, then Tesla Lucid should work, and then I'll be getting into a long in Micron is what I anticipate happening next. Was that here, Brendan?
No, I didn't hear anything that way. But let's go with the money, and we'll spin the apes. We'll spin the ape nation. We'll spin the Baba nation right now. $3 in the money on Alibaba. That just takes out a hundy there and comes right back in. Look, I'm going to hold this name. I'm short the other ones. I'm short Rivian. I'm short NEO. I'm short Affirm. And I'm long Baba. And honestly, that was embarrassing because I was talking about this. This was the long that we wanted. It came down in. We didn't take it. But there goes Alibaba. It's sticky note nation. It's flossing, and there's Alibaba straight up to the upside. Someone said, where do I get these names? Honestly, watchlist.tradertv.live. Plus, look at what we did yesterday. We keep our sticky notes. We look at them. Baba was on there yesterday. Baba was on there the day before at 73 long. Okay, it's at $100 right now. So, I mean, obviously, we're talking about day trades, but if you swang that trade, you're up to $100 right now. You're at 106 yesterday. Let's see where Alibaba goes. I mean, is it not possible that we can take out this 102? If so, we'll have this name. We're long, we're $3 in the money, and we're holding this. So let's go Alibaba upside. Let's see if it prints for us. Right now it is. And if it keeps on going, the cash register goes burr, as you know. So we'll wait to see on that one. And a lot of that is due to JPOW. So what's up? Not for BABA, but for the market. You're seeing it still going to the upside. We called that JPOW move, by the way. And here we go. Rivian, 42.41. The thing is, Jerome Powell was pretty hawkish. There's no doubt about that. He didn't say anything that would make me think that, oh, equities is time to boom town, which is why I don't understand really why we're ripping so damn much right now. But hey, we trade the price action here. I've identified a few names. Rivian is now in the money on a big position for me. The only other position that I need to work out, and we're almost at the high of the day, man, would be a firm. If a firm comes back in, man, your boy is going to be on one more time. So let's see what happens here with a firm.
So look, PDD is going to roll over, and Dinesh was asking me, is there a sensible reload point for it? I'm already in higher, I'd say higher risk shorts, but that's a very bullish pullback on Pinduoduo. So usually when it does that kind of a V, if I'm looking to re-enter the short, it's either at 40 even because it's an even number, or it's right back where we liked it at 41. And I'm not really getting either one of those prices. So I'm going to be relatively cautious jumping back in. Like, we're still trying to break higher. Tesla is now again trying to reverse. I was sitting right there at that 854 half to try and get a few more shares, and it didn't get the fill, but it's still trying to make the reversal. But the real story and why you're sort of seeing these sort of pop in the money, not really follow through, is we're still going back and forth on the 14,000 level. And I'm watching that on a 15-minute chart, just sort of keep things in mind. Like, I always watch the futures off a higher time frame than usually what I'm watching here on my minute chart. So, we're trying to break back off this level, but if we don't go, then the breakout's going to be in play. And I'm not thinking anything other than VWAP. This is an upward trend in Tesla. I think that's looking to try to continue. I didn't get Micron, but AMD is all the way back to VWAP. I'm like, how am I not long Micron when AMD is doing this? So not sure what's going on there. Lucid is finally starting to pull back. I just got first target Lucid 24. Going to have a bid in front of VWAP there. Remember, the first short on Lucid did not work. We took it out at that stop. Could have added to it, but allowed it to get to that next level up, which is the 24.50. So we'll ring the register on Lucid. But remember, the first time was not a good trade. I talked about Micron trying to come back in. Still relatively strong. Like, every time I look at AMD pull back, I'm like, why can't I get into Micron? And you're seeing this one not be as weak on the rollover. Come on, Tesla, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Gimme never gets. But Mullen, sorry. I always want to call it Mulan. Mullen as well, looking like it's about to roll over. I've taken most of this one out. But if this cannot hold VWAP here, you're testing $2. Come on, Tesla. I want more
Tesla.
than 3.
Yeah, let's go down.
25.
Tesla has to be tanking because
finally.
Rivian, yeah, good, man. Rivian. Woo! Rivian to the downside, baby. And I told you this was an oversized position. We had as many shares as we wanted for Rivian, and here it comes to the downside. So, wow, what a great day this has been, guys. And then we held out for Affirm. We are now in the money on this Affirm trade. So let's go to the downside with AFRM right now. And you know what did fall, though? BABA. But you know what? I could care less right now about Alibaba coming back down in. I still like the play. I'm going to hold it. We've talked about that 96. We're going to wait for that play to come through. But Alibaba does fade off that 100 one more time. So watch out for that play. But I'm going to hold that because you know what else is going through, man? Pigs get slaughtered, but your boy's just slaughtering the market. Look at it. 1840 short NEO. Okay, we'll take that. Why not? Right back in. We talked about that play earlier. We'll see if we get an 18 bid now. We are at the highest spot. Okay, Affirm. I see what you're doing. You are Tank City right now. Affirm with a nice little move back down to the downside here. And again, equal positions for Affirm, equal positions for Rivian. So we are at the highest spot we've been at all day. We are motoring. And you know what, man? Affirm, win. BABA, win. Facebook, win. NEO, win. Rivian, win. End. That's it. We'll go WTF. I don't know what to do else. Just use more shares. That's the only thing I can do is use more shares, and that's what we're here for, man. Ramp up the accounts when you're on one like this.
Lucid, by the way, this is not an iceberg order. 24 had randomly just had another buyer step up over and over again. It's like 100 shares or 500 shares that shows up, and it can't seem to get through it. So I did take another leg out there. The last out is going to be in front of VWAP. I'm just seeing a little bit of relative strength. Like, let's keep in mind, like the counter trend trade worked off of 14,000 here. But you have to remember, like, we're still shooting the upside. Like, this is working short side. We've got to be thinking about where to take that profit. I did get that first out on Tesla. Not really coming into VWAP. You're getting a consolidation here. I'll give it one more shot to come down. Of course, I finally did tick in to Micron. I want to give it some room. I do love the dip on Micron, but if it can't really hold up at like 78.25, this should be a good level. And if we can't hold it here, that 14,000 pullback could take us to 78 even. And I'd much rather be out and then back in front of a 78 even than try to dig in too deep onto that trade. Tesla, I'm shooting for another $3 on this trade. 7 to 8 looks like VWAP will be the target. There was one name that I forgot about, and we talked about in the afternoon yesterday, and that was Peloton. It's kind of already falling, so I don't want to say it's a missed opportunity, but it's a missed opportunity. It did spike up and then test this 24 for the breakout. This 23.75, 24.8 for the breakout, but that's a failed break at 24. So Peloton now on the radar. I just got all out of Lucid, so that one has worked. Tesla, about $1 away from also working that pullback, but the 14,000 level for the assist. Brendo?
A few people talking about the Shift Technologies, which does have, I was just double checking, does have a bit of a short percent, guys. There's 24% short on this. SFT, so they had, I'll just go over here. They had their report a couple days ago. Nice move yesterday, back to the upside, but watch the high there maybe on SFT, guys, trying to get back to highs.
Guys, check out the sticky note. I just put it on there on your chat. And if you're part of the show, great. If you're not in the chat, go get it. It's at Trader TV Sean. There's so many of you that have even messaging me like you're creating Twitter accounts just for that. And that's like really means a lot, man. We're trying to add as much as we can to the show. And there it is. Like it's all for free. You can come get it. You can get the watchlist.tradertv.live. And thanks to Brendan for all the work and Miss V for all the work they do on that watch list. I mean, I wouldn't be able to put the sticky note together if I didn't have the watch list. So a big shout out to them. And then meanwhile, Neo just went to the downside. And look, sometimes it's hard to sit here, entertain you guys, trade, and try to, talk about what we're doing. And, when I go when I'm talking about going 4 for 4, 5 for 5, 6 for 6, it's not, it's just about entertaining you guys, and hopefully that you can see that it is possible to day trade and to make money doing this. And I think that that's really the only point of what I'm trying to say every single day is that I love the fact that you guys are checking out the sticky note. I'm here for education and entertainment. And honestly, the money that I'm making right now, it's not secondary. It's why I do this. But it just means a lot that I continue to get everybody's support. And so thank you for all the nice words on the chat. And let's just keep on killing this market. Join us every day, Trader TV Live. I'm here, and it should be a good one.
I just, to sort of second that note, guys, I think we all like that preparation. Someone said the morning show should be longer. Look, we're back at 2 o'clock. We give you the play-by-play, almost what we think is going to happen, but also those key levels. Now, obviously, watching the futures here is more Arun's job. I get that. I'm not talking about trading the future. But overall, if you're not looking at the NASDAQ for some of these moves, like you're not shorting Tesla at that level like we did without noticing that wick top. Now, I just got out of my Tesla. We'll ring the register. I'm now into Micron for the dip buy and the long, and Mullins pulled back to 217. But if you're looking at this and just that afternoon sort of like 13,933, just having a quick look at previous resistance, that looks like it's a bit of a turn point. So why I got out of Tesla there it just looked like, and I should zoom in a little bit here for you guys, it just looks to me like if that resistance turns into support and we bounce off it and then run back to 14,000, then you bank your profit on that short trade, which was counter trend. That's Tesla, that's Lucid, that's why you don't see me in those anymore. And that's the whole point of sort of going through the thought process. To me, all I care about is trade, execution, entry, exit point, and that's all that matters, guys. And then you sort of move on to the next. And on to the next is Brendan for the small cap recap.
Hey guys, a little bit quieter today on the small cap front. I was talking about IMPP before the open, obviously oil related, energy related. So moving with crude oil, I said 280 to 3 and then 2 to 180. Anything in between, don't touch it. So you fade the move into 280, gives you a quick trade back to this high, the pre-market high there. We're coming back through the range now, see if it gets all the way back to 2. So nice move back to the downside for IMPP. The other one I looked at was Mullen, gave you a gift off the open. Moved down to 2 to get long, gets all the way up to 235. That was about it, though. Volume dying off right across the board for small caps, guys. Back over to you.
Yeah, so we just took another, I mean, we were $1 in the money. Now we only have, so just to update you guys again, like I said, you know, we're here to talk about entries and exits and give you guys hopefully a good show. And there's Rivian. We're out now. We're out. We only have 20% left. So only 20% left on Rivian. We got the prices that we wanted. I mean, look, if it crashes, it crashes. That's great. But the market is resisting that. So those were some nice moves. We did play the market, just like Neil took out Tesla for a great trade. You know, we will look at this now. 42.60 down to the downside there on Rivian. So that was our short. We just got out at 4, like, you know, our short's up here, man. 42.50, not 42.60. We took a 41.30. We just took a 41.40 there. And there, now it comes right back in. So, you know, maybe we should get a little bit greedy, but we're still holding 20%. And just, hold on, I got to make sure now. I don't have any more bids out there. So we'll wait to see if that comes through. Now we'll wait for the bottom. Now we can get greedy. I mean, I should get greedy on the full boat. There's no doubt, but we don't do that. Here, at least I don't anyways. And the same thing with Affirm. We actually have 40% of Affirm left. So Affirm, we didn't get the prices we wanted. We're looking for down here, 33.60, 33.80, but we did cash out when we came back in here to the 50 period and to VWAP. So again, short and out. Affirm's not, you know, it's the one name where, I mean, look at, first of all, NEO, we got that, you already know about that one. I was going to say Affirm is the one name that we're actually not, we're up on it, but it's not like the big win. As you guys can see, we've had to average in. This was good, but start, take, and then out. So that's, it's a winning trade, but not a great one. And then there, and back in, same kind of story. We're up on Affirm, and it's a good trade. But at the same time, it needs to go down lower for us to really cash in on this. So Affirm is a name that I like, but we haven't hit it as hard as we should have. And I don't know if you're still in that Lucid, man, but right now,
I covered.
Yeah, because Rivian is like tanking right here, and that was a good name that we liked for the short. I might cover one more piece here. I know we're still, I know I just said we're still in 20%. But yeah, you know what? Let's just hold this. Let's put a bid down here in case we get that flush again. You see that has these wicks? So maybe it will wick us down. Let's put a bid at 40.70 and see if we can cash in. It's $1.40 in the money.
Yeah, like I'm actually looking to get back in off those highs. Like Lucid just couldn't break VWAP, so it bounced off around that 24 level. I'm looking for a reload. But Global Foundries, man, like it's the volume's still not gigantic, but it's now through this 75 area, and it's getting to that point, right? Like, if we're pulling back off 14,000, I get it. I like the stock. I have nothing against it. I own shares of them. But a parabolic move like this, a clean 70 break that essentially is stalling out at 75 a little bit here, that just smells pullback. And you've already seen one pullback off 75. Now, what I mean about a failed break is get through the level, so consolidation, get through the level, but not have any follow through. And it couldn't get through the next, like 50-cent move and tries to pull back in. I'd short 75 on a pullback down with my stop being at that high, maybe give an extra 8 cents because the high is 42 and give it to 50. So in back through 75 and then just try to get out 75.50 with a stop. It's just, again, it's gone so far and there's no specific news. I actually had Brendan sort of confirm, like, is there something I don't know about Global Foundries, why it's moving this much? But strong, 7% move upside, crazy. I didn't, for some reason, I didn't actually get everything I wanted on Micron here, but I am in on that dip to VWAP. If it can get back toward those highs, I'll try to scalp it out there in front of 79.5, probably in those quarter range. But I do want to see if I can pick up some more shares on that little bit of a dip. Tesla that was a one and done trade. Like a level like that, I'm playing off it the first time. You get the assist at 14,000. If it goes there again, I don't necessarily like revisiting it unless it's an all throughout lunchtime sort of reversal style trade. Like if it holds 8.55 for like an hour or two, some of those afternoon rollovers can be good. I'm back on the offer of Lucid if it wants to try to pop back up to those highs. We'll take that short more time. But that was a VWAP retrace. We're in, we're out. Now we're looking to get it back off the top. Miss V?
Hey Neil, we've got Hey Neil, we've got a super chat from Manny D. Thank you so much, Manny, for your super chat. I hope you're having a profitable day. Here are a few bucks for donut tomorrow morning. Talking about donuts, a Krispy Kreme is up more than 1%, guys. Ooh, I like it. Back to you guys.
Apple fritter, apple fritter. I know it's technically not a donut, but it's the best pastry at a donut shop. So as far as, Brady, I'm not sure it is a donut. Is it fritter? Yeah, fritter's a fritter. A fritter's, anyways, that's probably a distinction without a difference. They're delicious. Was that Brennan?
I'm just going to, we were just discussing, is it or is it not a donut? Netflix, guys, 2% saw a note that they were going to test an extra fee if you want to share your password. I know a lot of people do that, and I'm not sure how they're going to enforce that, but apparently you're going to have to pay an extra fee now if you want to share your password.
So I saw this story, and I was like, I don't know what I feel like. To me, that's admitting that you're not going to get as many new subscribers, and you just want the people that have it to pay a little bit more,
right,
which can be a good thing to admit. I know it's up 2%, but the market's bouncing back here. So I'm a little bit, I don't know, like anybody that's sort of been playing that game, I know everyone does it, but everyone that's sort of been playing that game, maybe they fork out the extra $2 or $3 here. What's interesting at least is the chart, so I can come to that for you. Now it's trying to break this 365. It's gotten through, further 15-minute. Sorry, it's trying to get through this 365 level. It's the last time it got here, it wicked up last week, got to about 67, and then you see rejected this price. So breaking back out through 67 will put in a pretty solid base here. But again, some names are breaking through resistance. Other names are just testing it now. With the failure just at 14,000, I don't favor a breakout at that time. I think you want this through that 65 to 67 if the NASDAQ can break out even higher. And the ES is the same sort of, like the ES is trying to break its high. It's just not as clean of a level as 14,000. That's why I keep referencing that. I am only in Micron and Mullen. Mullen has to start giving it up because it looks like that secondary push maybe to 250 might not come through if that's going to be the case. Micron, I am sitting on the offer, and I'm pulling the 15-minute up just to show in perspective. Yesterday's sort of morning high, also this morning's top is basically the same thing at 79.25. That's where I'm going to sit, try and grab 50 cents on the first leg of this trade. If we can, I want to be bidding more in front of 78 as well for Micron. I guess I could have been more aggressive, and if I had done that in AMD here, I'd already be into it. So a little bit of a more shallow pullback on Micron. AMD, the levels are more that 111 that we had early. Probably should have held on to it. But if it gets back down to that price, I do like them both. But AMD, just a little bit more volatile. So you're looking for a deeper pullback on that name.
Here's the Rivian short off the sticky note, guys. And I actually have something to say because I put the wrong price. So right in here, remember I was going to put 40.70? I put 41.70, and I got taken out instantly. And hopefully you didn't hear any language, but like that sucked because I got out instantly, and then it just dropped right to 40.70. So I actually gave up there 70 cents, which that sucks. So not super happy about that play. And on that note, I'm going to hold now. I don't even have any more bids on Rivian. I mean, I'm just really super happy with the way this one turned out. And again, I keep going back here because the show is about education. And we talked about, look, give me a pop in Rivian. A hundy short, like we're 100%. We put the hundy on there, and there it is, man. Rivian short up to $42. And I mean, Rivian just printed 40.70. So, I mean, and it gave you, not only did it give you 42, it gave you 42.70 to the upside. So there it is, man. Rivian with the cash money short on that one. My number one stock today is Rivian. Alibaba could have been if I got it out at 200, but that didn't happen. And then Affirm, we're still laughing at this one because this is a good one, and I'm still thinking we go a hell of a lot lower. Let's see if Affirm takes out this 33.50. That's my call there. I do want to average in, but remember, we're getting out if it takes down 37.50. So I need to I'm not going to be averaging in anymore until it gets way, way up. We may change that, but let's see if our next fill comes in, and then maybe we'll use 36 as our out because, again, Affirm, I don't believe in it, so we short it, and so far so good on everything today. We're close to our highest spot, though. Not quite there yet. What's up, Brendo?
All right, coming up in 15 minutes, guys. It's 10:30. That means we have a guest today, which is exciting. Global Crossing Airlines making its debut on the NEO exchange here in Toronto today. Ed Weigel, Chairman and CEO, going to join us to discuss the airline, Jet, really cool ticker on the Toronto exchange, NEO exchange. A Toronto extension if you're a day trade the world trader, but that's coming up in 15 minutes. In the meantime, let's get a check on how things in Europe are shaping up so far. Miss V is watching what's going on over there. What's up?
Hey Brendan, European markets are mixed, mostly negative at this hour. Delivery Hero trading in London is up more than 6% after saying it aimed to reach break-even in core earnings in around 2 years' time. Back to you.
Yeah, still positive for the S&P, just 0.1, but we are still holding on to positive territory, guys.
Okay, I just wanted to talk quickly before we go back to trading here, and I want to address the bomb. What's up, the bomb? Am I still bearish on Microsoft? Thanks for acknowledging that, obviously, on the sticky note. And yeah, I mean, you know, this was, we put it on the sticky note today. And remember I said, like, I don't want to go short normally any of these names? Well, right here on said note was exactly that, man. It was Microsoft short, but we were waiting for this 296 area. So yeah, are we still bearish? Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's been the right call for sure. Microsoft down now 0.57, so 3 times more than the market. So yeah, that is a bearish look, obviously, on Softy. I'd rather this get back to 295. I'm not sure right now if we're bearish. Just at these levels, I mean, the market has taken out the 50 period and is starting to head a little bit lower. We already short. If you're not short and looking to get it, I think this is not a horrible level, actually, if we can come back up to 293. So a little bit of a bump up. I'm going to join you in this. So I'm going to join you going long here. Sorry, short. Short Microsoft, if we can get it in and around this 80 level, so we're getting close right now, we'll short that, and then honestly, I don't want to hold it too much. I know how much Microsoft can go back up to the upside, so let's short Microsoft right here, and then I'm just going to get out if it takes 293. So it's not going to be a huge trade, or a long trade. Hopefully it'll be a huge one, but I think this 292.80 or so rate review up is, let's see if we get a bump up there, and then short a little bit of Softy with an out, like not, you know, maybe here, 293.20 or so short Microsoft.
So I did finally get into Global Foundries there. Like that 75 curl trade, it actually had to break 76 and then put a nice wick off candle up there. I'd have loved to be able to say that I got 75.5 or when it made that move, but I did leave myself some room by grabbing some at 75, but at least left myself some room that I can afford to add here at 75.50 if I can get a better price. I'll play to 74, then into VWAP at 73. And look, this is not, for the counter trade like Tesla that we had, and for Global Foundries here, this is not to say that I don't think the stock can't go up or that I don't like it in general. It's just when you get a parabolic mover, I tend to like that fade trade. If you don't have the long up there, it can be hard to chase. And sometimes the best setup is going to be that short. I reloaded on Micron just now in front of 78. That's starting to bounce a little bit. And we're just going to go back to Mullen. I'm not trying to ignore the stock, but it's now finally tested. This was the curl level that we tried to short. We reversed into a long when it broke that 217 high. Now it's trying to hold that same level at 210. So if there's a place for this long to start to work out, it would be that higher low. Just a reminder, one of the setups that I love is when one of these stocks breaks out, can't get to that 250 or whatever target you like, and then can hold the opening range bottom or the pre-market lows. This time the opening range bottom's $2. If it doesn't break 2, then it has a good shot at a secondary push at some point in the afternoon. So I am still thinking this has a chance to run. I know it's already gone and made a nice move for you, but there's still life left in this name in particular. Like I said, with Micron, didn't quite show it there. We got some shares in front of that 78 level. I still like the 79 quarter. I'll probably pop something in front of the 79 as well. Just see if that market can turn a little bit here to that upside. I see, look, there's a lot of names that are running that I know we're not necessarily getting to. And one of those, or not necessarily running, but moving a heck of a lot that we're not necessarily getting to. Neo's been making some big moves back and forth. I think we've just preferred, I preferred Lucid and Sean preferred Rivian, and we looked at Tesla. And I know Neo's moving, but I'd like to see it actually break the range at some point to get more exciting. It definitely has a chance to hold. Look at the afternoon support it had after Fed, and it was relatively strong, and now it's putting in a higher low. So there are some really bullish signs to Neo, despite being down that 4%, and that's that it doesn't want to give up that bottom. But the real story, as you look at the market start to roll back over, is where does the NASDAQ find that low? For Global Foundry's sake, I hope it's not for a while, but then I am also in that Micron long.
I mean, at some point, you got to be speechless. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's Microsoft, you know, 50 cents in the money right now off of a double reload. So, I mean, it did exactly what we said right there on Microsoft. Like I said, man, it's just one of those things right now where when you're reading everything and you got the market and it's like you can read these names. Just before we went to Neil there, what was I talking about? I took that super chat talking about being bearish on Microsoft. And right now, we're 70 cents in the money on the short that I just put on 3 minutes ago. I mean, here it comes back in. I mean, everything right now rocking. Like, this is an unbelievable move. Look at NEO. I didn't even notice NEO. WTF. This is a 50-cent win on NEO. This is a 70-cent win on Microsoft. This is $2 now on Rivian. Look at this Rivian short. But, you know, and again, this is why, check out the sticky note every single day. I had all of these plays are on there. The Microsoft short, the Rivian short, the Affirm short, the Baba Longs was on there. Everything, man. NEO we talked about earlier on. NEO's on the list. NEO is on the list. NEO, Baba, Rivian, Affirm, everything on this sticky note, and we continue to cash out for this. So let's just watch, man. How low does Microsoft want to go? We just got a 37 print on Microsoft, guys. So, I mean, look, I'm super excited for the way this market's traded. I had my best day yesterday. This is my second best day of the month today, right now, and it's 10:30. So, I mean, let's go, man. Like, if we're not entertained at this point, then yeah, we're not doing our job. This has been a fantastic market to trade. We talked about that. It sucks if you're holding some of those names, right? But for as far as day trading is concerned, this has been a fantastic market, and the money just keeps on coming in over and over and over again. And like, just as I'm talking, let's take a 50-cent winner on Affirm, why not? As we just sit there, it comes in and it takes us out. So here we go to the downside. This is my trading today so far. Affirm, boom. Baba, I mean, one of my best stocks today, Alibaba. Facebook, a name that we should still have had. Another win for Facebook. Microsoft, we just put on 70 cents in the money. NEO's 55 cents in the money. One trade. One trade Softy short, one trade Microsoft short, NEO short, one trade Baba long, and then Rivian is the other trade that we have on today. And this is my best one. This is my highest one. $2 in the money now on Rivian. So yeah, today's been a really great day. I hope you're enjoying yourself, and I hope you have a great time as well. We are getting ready for the interview, and then we throw to Brad at 11. But wow, this has been a good day. Let me see. Is he? Yeah, he's got green on. He's got green on. He's decked out. Neil, how's your day going?
I got no complaints, man. But there's no surprise. If I wasn't here on Monday, but if you show up on Monday thinking it's St. Patrick's Day and they all green, you better come correct on the real day, which he's done. At least I think so. You guys will see in a bit. But I saw someone in the chat talking about, I think it's Elton mentioning Square. So one thing that's good about fading Square, which I think someone was mentioning, up 5%, looks overextended. Yeah, I see it. That's a double top on the 15-minute. It's a double top up here as well at that 123. But you're still just holding that 41K. Like, Bitcoin's not really moving, which is usually a good sign. Like, you would not want to be thinking about a short the high when something extends like this if we were breaking back out. And I'm not really seeing that. I think 125 is probably a bigger level than the random 123.5. But do I like some of these fades? I'm already in Global Foundries. I want to add at 75, 50 if I can. This is that time of day where, you know, some of these plays might take some time for them to work themselves out because you're shorting off some of these highs. But yeah, I like Square here as well through 123.50. But I think 125 is probably a bit of a bigger level if it can get there. And even bigger than that, if you look at the daily chart, if it gets to 130 today, this is where the pedal to the metal, or the rubber hits the whatever that term is, happens on Square. Because 130, 131 multiple times has been a fail point for this stock, going all the way back to the beginning of February. It's gotten up there. It's made gigantic reversals off this level. And if we see that today, that's the bigger level. But I do still like it up here.
Okay, yeah, and exactly, guys. I mean, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about time frames. We're talking about Bruno. No, we're not doing that. 292.17. So we just took another bid there on Microsoft. And again, this is reminiscent of the Facebook trade, where right now I'm starting to panic. But again, we only have 20% left. Like when this fell like that into these teeth again, like we just exiting it out. And that's why I'm saying, like, when you're following Neil and myself trading, it's understand our time frames, like understand the speed of execution that we're doing, right? I'm looking for shorter term plays and then to hold, into some of the levels that we talk about here, right? And so, it's just, you got to trade your own book. You got to trade your own stuff. And now I'm holding 20% of Microsoft. And let's just see where it goes from here. I'm going to hold the rest. I feel it's weak today. The futures just bounced up a little bit. So let's hold this and see if we can't make new bottoms here in Softy today. So that's what we're doing. We're holding the 20%. And we can't go red on the name. That's part of the strategy. So we're going to see if it does take out this 293.20, then we're out. And we will take a 17-cent hit. Like we just took out 17 cents by accident, not by accident, but we, when it ripped up there, we took that profit, right? So now it's coming back in. Let's hold Softy for the bottoms of the day. No more bids. I actually had a bid down here at 292. I'm going to cancel that and see if we get a 291.70 or so here on Softy. We're just cooking, man. Rivian days low. Affirm, low for me right now on Rivian, short. 42.50 Rivian. It is at the day's low. What am I talking about? All the way to the downside. That was a keystroke error. But we're still holding a piece now as Rivian comes back down in to these bottoms. So yeah, we're feeling pretty good about trading here today. The big board is littered today with, I guess, a 50-50.
It looks really mixed, man.
Let's go find out from Brendan a little bit more in depth about what's happening now.
Half and half, guys. We're dead flat right now for the S&P. You can see just red once again, only 0.02% though. Strength coming from, first off, energy stocks, oil obviously. We talked about the huge move for oil. So all of these back to the upside today. Oxy, Devon, Apache, MRO. You can look at any of them. 3 to about 8% for individual oil names back to the upside. Material stocks as well. Some of the resource names back in positive territory. Mosaic, FCX, and CF leading the way as far as gainers are concerned. Consumer discretionary names split pretty evenly. Some of the retailers showing strength here and some of the consumer durables and apparel makers specifically back to the upside. But cruise lines off here, CCL, RCL to the downside. NCLH was positive on that upgrade. You can see now back in negative territory as well. Banks are weak. Tech stocks about break even as well. Back and forth we go for semiconductors to the downside, but some of the software names offsetting that in positive territory along with hardware equipment makers outside of HPQ apparently. 4.7% to the downside for that name today. So a little negativity coming from tech stocks, energy material stocks, and even real estate's back in positive territory after yesterday's huge gain. But we are red once again, down 0.06 from the market. Guys, back over to you.
I mean, like I don't want to say that that's a nothing burger on the market, but if you sort of compare today to these other days, like it's pretty flat, man. Like I would have expected that can be the case sometimes. You get the big event and then we're a little bit more calm. I know there's been trading opportunities. And shout out to you guys. Like I wasn't watching Square. I'm not going to sit there and say that block. Sorry, I said Square like 20 times. I'm not going to say the block was front and center for my radar. But if it sets up, and that's the market reversing off highs, and you get something overextended, that's put a failed break through. 123 was a double top high. It tries to break out. It can't get there. You get a pullback, and then you're able to retest that. I'm going to take that short almost every single time. I'm going to take some out in front of first level like we just did, and then I'm going to get the rest out in front of VWAP at 121. I'm going to do that almost every single time I see it. It's a similar trade. Whoops, Global Foundries is on the NASDAQ. Similar trade in Global Foundries. The difference being, it's now making its second test of the high of the day. So I grabbed into this short. I said, I'll give it some room that if it makes the same lower high, that you just saw Square do the same thing. If it makes that same lower high, then I'll try to get some more shares in here. It's a little bit wilder, Global Foundries, because the volume's not as big. So this could take a little bit longer to work itself out, but we'll see what happens. GFS has been super strong. Again, if it breaks the high of the day, you don't want to be fighting the stock through the high of the day. You've already gotten the pullback on the NASDAQ, and GFS is deciding it's like hold my beer situation. So it's trying to go into the downside. It hasn't happened yet. Before we get to our interview, which is going to be a fun one, I could have held out for more in Tesla. Obviously, it was a wrong call not to, but at that particular moment, I was only really playing the VWAP. I might have given up an extra $1, but really it's only an extra $1 on that trade. Tesla, either way, looking like it's trying to now hold and see if it can make a secondary push back up as the NASDAQ is trying to make a bit of a run here. ES is a similar story. We just tend to follow the NASDAQ. I'm not ignoring what's going on in the S&P. It's just the NASDAQ moving more.
Guys, like, wow. I'm honestly, I'm like flabbergasted. Look at this Microsoft trade. Thank you to whoever asked about that. This trade is just hot fire right now, guys, as Microsoft gets into the gates of hell, and your boy has it, man. We're just going. Yeah, thanks. What's up, the bomb? There it is again, another super chat. Thank you, man. Thanks for the love there, for sure on that, man. That means a hell of a lot to me, making these calls for you. There you go, Big Pimp Sean stacking. Yeah, today you want to see some stacks, man? We are stacking. Oh, you know what else we're doing? How about that Raptors call, -1? Cha-ching, cha-ching. We hit that again for the Raptors. We hit them in LA against the Lakers. We hit them last night against the Clippers. Now we're cashing out right now. Thank you, the bomb. You are the bomb. Thanks for that as well. As Microsoft goes down to the downside. I mean, I was bearish on Softy, and thank you for asking me about it. But there it is. Look at this collapse, man. We are absolutely collapsing. A firm 70 cents in the money. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 6 today. All clean trades, too. There's absolutely nothing wrong with any of these trades. Look at Rivian down to 40 now. We're short $2.50 in the money on Rivian, and down goes Rivian, down goes Tesla, down goes the market. We're pretty happy with this day. As you can see, I hope you're having fun. And yeah, we are stacking right now today, man. So I think that's definitely worth a little bit of a belly dance action right now, as this day, I don't know, man. I thought yesterday was a big day, but man, today, rinse and repeat, Brendo.
All right, guys, thanks so much. Global Crossing Airline is a high-growth new airline. Charter is servicing the charter and cargo sectors. We're happy to have Ed Weigel, Chairman and CEO, and Ryan Gopel, CFO, joining us today on a big day for the company, guys. Welcome. And it's exciting because they're making their debut on the NEO exchange, as we said, here in Toronto, guys. JET is the ticker on the NEO exchange here in Toronto. Welcome, guys. Great to have you. Tell us a little bit about what we need to know when it comes to Global Crossing.
Sure, Brendan. Thanks for the invite this morning. I'm very happy to talk to your viewers. We just moved from the TSX Venture Exchange to NEO yesterday. We're very excited about that move. We are a low-cost charter airline based in Miami in the U.S. We currently have 6 airplanes, 6 A320s, and we are adding 4 A320 passenger aircraft by the end of this year, so we're in high growth mode. And as well, we're adding 3 A321 freighters, so we're getting into the cargo business to help diversify our revenue stream and to get us into a new line of business. So we're very excited about where we are. We will be at 14 airplanes by the end of this year and 25 airplanes by the end of 2023. We are growing, adding airplanes, adding infrastructure here. We're building a new hangar facility that's been fully financed. And we have a number of activities going on that will enhance our ability to generate more than our fair share of the market in the U.S. charter market in the years to come.
So this move happened via a reverse takeover, guys. Why don't we talk a little bit about how that came to be and give us a rundown of the deal itself?
Sure, I'll give you the overview and then Ryan will step in and give you some specifics. So about 2 years ago, we approached Canada Jetlines, which was a airline shell company that was traded on the TSXV. They had not been able to get certified or raise enough capital. We did a reverse takeover that gave us the public listing on both the TSXV and the OTC in New York. We then changed the name to Global X, Global Crossing Airlines, known as Global X. And in fact, just a few months ago, we spun Canada Jetlines back out of Global X, and it is traded on the NEO as well. So it's a sister company of ours. Global X owns 25% of that airline, and they just received Canadian Transport Authority approval to move forward on their certification. But back to Global X, so we consummated the merger. We changed the name to Global Crossing Airlines. So we were traded on the TSXV and the OTC QB. We raised a substantial amount of money over the past 18 months to get us to where we are now. We got through our certification with the US FAA and the DOT. We raised about $22 million to get to where we are today. And we are well positioned now with aircraft and people and assets to grow very rapidly. But Ryan, why don't I turn to you to talk about the financing and where we are with the stock?
Yeah, so on June 23rd of 2020, we merged with did a reverse takeover of Canada Jetlines. Since then, we've done 3 equity raises, so we're all equity financed through the certification process. In August 7th, we became certified and started generating revenue. We disclosed our Q3 revenue number of around $3 million on over 350 hours flown. For Q4, we'll be releasing on March 31st, but we have released in January that we flew over 1,200 hours in Q4. So we are in extremely high revenue growth mode. We're continuing to add aircraft, and we think we're adding substantial value to the company on every day.
Talk a little bit about the business model here, guys. What do we need to know when it comes to the charter business versus what's known as the scheduled airline business? How do the two differ here?
It's a great question, Brendan. So we are a charter airline, which means we sell the whole airplane to a client, be it a cruise line or a tour operator or any number of different clients, universities, college teams, and so forth. So we do not take risk on selling individual seats. We do not schedule our aircraft until a client takes the whole aircraft and charters it from us. We don't take risk on fuel. The client pays the full fuel charge plus a surcharge if the price of oil is moved and the price of fuel that we pump into the aircraft is moved. So we mitigate the risk significantly from being a scheduled airline in that we only fly when we are paid, when the airplane is essentially full by having sold it to an individual client. So that's how we differ from a scheduled airline, which means that the amount of capital that we need to first get started and then for working capital is significantly reduced from being a scheduled airline. We do scheduled charter where we have a significant amount of our business is contracted for on a multi-flag basis, in some cases multi-months, in some cases multi-years. So we have a contract with the US government that goes for 3 years. We have a contract to fly with one of the US approved tour operators to Cuba from the US, and that's a 1-year deal that continues to roll over and be renewed. And so we are looking for a significant portion of our business to be long-term, locked-in contracts with clients, and we've been successful so far in doing that. Along with that, we have a lot of ad hoc business, but we are developing multi-year relationships with universities and college teams, as well as cruise lines, casino resorts, and others who will continue to need airlift. No matter what happens in the economy, they will need to fly, and we're working to put in place multi-year contracts with them.
And part of the benefit here for a charter is the ability to branch out and have diversification in revenue streams. Why don't we talk a little bit about the NCAA tournament? You mentioned some of the universities and colleges going to be involved in that, and the company working with the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, so the NCAA we first flew for during football bowl season. The way it works is they sent out a contract to ask for minimum commitment of aircraft. We have done that over bowl season. For football, for example, we flew over 100 flights for about 40 different teams or fan groups in December. For March Madness, it's a similar process. We've got a number of planes committed to March Madness. We are bidding every day on flights. We have a guaranteed minimum, but we are flying 10 to 15 flights a day during the tournament, whether it's for teams or for fan bases to the various locations. So it's just an example of a client base or client customer that uses charter on a significant basis and allows us to participate in that group.
It's a exciting time to be a part of not only that realm and that sector, but as the world starts to open up and travel starts to come back into play here following COVID, a very interesting sector to be a part of, gentlemen. Why don't we talk a little bit about what's to come if we look out maybe 6 months or so?
Sure. So we're adding the A321 freighter to our certificate, and we will start flying cargo in October of this year. We'll take 3 A321 freighters. That gives us the diversification into cargo. We'll take, right now we have 12 A321 freighters under lease agreement, which we'll take between September of this year and mid-2024. That's a significant revenue growth for us. We've signed our first contract for a whole aircraft to be dedicated to one client. We will announce that deal probably in the next 30 days or so. We have a number of other clients already lined up for that airplane. It is the hottest airplane in the cargo space currently. As well, we're taking more passenger aircraft. We are flying in Europe this summer. We will send 2 airplanes to fly for one of the biggest tour operators in Europe called TUI, T-U-I. And we are continuing to build our base of business with the charter clients here in the U.S. So by 2025, we expect to be at 50 aircraft, 25 cargo aircraft, 25 passenger aircraft. And just to give you an idea on valuations, why don't you talk about how we value?
I think to put it in perspective, and I think sometimes it's tough to grasp the scale of what we're putting together. I think if you look at tickers such as Sun Country out of the U.S. or Cargojet out of Canada, while there are some small differences, there are similarities. If you look at their fleets with between 20 and 30 aircraft, and trading at between 30 and 40 million dollars in aircraft, you multiply that by 50, you sort of see what we believe our company should be worth and will be worth, and we are probably at a small fraction of that math today. So I think one of the aspects of what we've done by creating Certificate post-COVID is we've been able to acquire aircraft at post-COVID rates, which is probably one of the greatest opportunities out there that has been presented by COVID. There's a lot of planes, you saw them all parked in the desert. Well, that's where we went and got them from. And we got them at desert prices, and we're putting them to work on our Certificate, which is a pretty unique modifier. We don't have any COVID hangover of debt or voucher liability or fuel commitments. We're able to go out there with an equity finance company and take advantage of cheap assets, and then take advantage of, I think we see everyone talks about as they come out of lockout, they're planning their next trip. And being able to have a vehicle to supply that metal to fly the trip, I think, is a great business opportunity for us.
Great note to wrap things up on. JET, guys, Global Crossing, brand new listing, moving from the TSX Venture Exchange over to the NEO. Check it out, jet.to. Ed Weigel, Chairman and CEO, and Ryan Gopal, CFO of the company. Thank you so much for doing this, guys.
Thank you so much today. Thank you.
Check out Global Crossing, guys.
Yeah, great.
Jets to Jets.
Fantastic. And the chat loving that interview, by the way. So I think it's a very interesting business model and an absolutely great job. Thank you, Brendan, and definitely check that out. Always nice listings and news like that. So watch out for liquidity in that name. Yeah, go Canada. Oh, Canada for sure. And we're just going to fire off the hot dogs right now. Like, as we were gone, I put in our chat, like, wow, what a great market. We're $4 in the money on Rivian, guys. And again, look at this tank. We're still in this trade. This is $4 in the money and absolutely collapsing, almost as if they said something. I don't know, all the way to the downside. Monster trade there. Look at Softy, $2 in the money on Softy as well. $1 in the money on Affirm. And okay, we reloaded. We took an Alibaba down here, but if it breaks 96, we're gone. So right now, Alibaba in 96.68, out some 97s. This is the one trade that, hey man, we don't believe too much in Chinese names to the long side right now. We are short NEO, 75 cents in the money. This will get out at 96. Anything quickly before we go to...
I'm out of Square. That was a view arbitration play. Global Foundries is still flat. It's got on the money 30 cents, out of the 50 cents, out of the money like 30 or 40, but it hasn't really made its move yet. And I got the Micron dip. If it breaks low, I'm out of it. Look, we're running out of time here because we got to go to Trader Pratt, who's decked out in his green. But the other person in green, I believe... Oh, so I know we're going to Brendan first.
Quickly, guys, earnings. Tonight, a few big names on this board for earnings today.
I never heard of those ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's really just one name on there that everyone's going to be looking at. That's going to be GME.
Yeah.
We'll look. I don't even know. What is GME even doing these days?
Nothing.
Yeah, it's been one of those, $84. That's I thought it was still a hundy there. GME to the downside. You could see here on the daily chart, yes. Yeah, no, it's moving, man. I mean, GME here just breaking below. Wow, watch out below on watch out below on this GME print tomorrow, guys. Like, it's gotten killed. It was just 120. It's down. Randy, we got this, my man. Down 120 all the way down to the downside. But without any further ado, let's go over to Ms. V.
Hey guys, I hope you're having a green day so far. Thank you so much for all the super chats and for your likes. Join Prad and me right after to continue this trading day. And of course, happy National St. Patrick's Day, everyone.
You know it. Get your green beer on. Do what you got to do. Also, NCAA tournament. So a little bit of March Madness.
Yep.
Yeah, it starts out today. There's going to be some fun to be had. I mean, if you're into it, I think the gambling is fun as well. But you know, be responsible. My team is in, I think, a world of trouble. I always put Michigan State to get past like the first and second rounds. My heart's not in it. I did put in my bracket to win, but they're probably getting upset, guys. But without further ado, I got a little bit of green on.
It's Guinness. We're drinking Guinness at 2 p.m. Right, Neil?
The Guinness?
Yeah.
I'll take Guinness. I'm never more than one Guinness though. Like, it's a hard one limit on Guinness.
Oh no, yeah, no, we don't have to have multiple. I got to get home. But Brendan, right now, the microphone is already off. He is going to the liquor store, I think, as we speak, because I guess there we go. Yeah, he's gone right now. So see you, Brendan, and see you, everybody, man. Thanks for the show. I'll just wrap it up here.
Yeah,
all right, thank you to everybody for watching. It's been a monster. It's been good, Brendan. Be careful out there on the streets. And we will throw it back over to Miss V and Prad right now. Market Movers, let's go.
Welcome to Market Movers. It's your best show on the internet that you can ever find.
That's
it's
right.
Miss V and Trader Prad time.
Blondies in green.
That's right.
Oh my God, I love it, guys. Happy National St. Patrick's Day again. I hope it's a very green, profitable, positive day for you. As usual, be active on the chat, ask us anything, and give us a like, please.